after streaming for 24 hours in like 2 days, your body's like, yeah, nah, we're not doing this. And I'm like, no, I need to hit my rule of 100, you know?
I was having
I'm like, you're
conversations
gonna
with
work.
Bad Sports every night, and he's like, I'm so tired. I gotta post like 20 more posts before I go to bed. Same thing with Rain Man last night. I was like, hey, send me a picture for our stream, and I'll make it the background. He's like, okay, I gotta do like 20 more posts before I go to bed. You're in all of their heads, man. These guys are like one eye open. They're like, no, there's 20 more posts to do. I gotta keep going.
Yep.
What was impressive, Jake? You were doing it on stream, weren't you? I swear because I remember you were always on stream, like always live, but then you were posting. I was like, how is this guy doing this? So you must have just been doing it in the background when you had a chance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely less than usual. Usually I'm like super active on Twitter. But man, day 369 happened today. That's pretty sick.
Yep.
Everything
got a nice little ETH payout that didn't get destroyed by DragonX despite the February FUD. You know?
True.
All that hate in February, and hey, look at this. Oh, by the way, I made a video last night. My big stake is totally ROI off to day 369.
So the Titanx in it now is free money.
It's all free money. So if we ever get miners from now on, that's free passive income. If X28 comes and a lot of people see an incentive to dump theirs, not me. Maybe my share increases. Let's go.
I feel like that's going to be a hard decision for people to make when it comes to that, because they're going to know that.
Yeah. So I think burning. Okay, so I'm trying to be non-biased here. I think burning your stake for X28 is actually a good decision because you could probably outpace stake in ROI by playing around in the build on Titanx ecosystem. Now, if you dump your stake to then go into Ethereum, then there's no promise of overperforming. But as long as you're within the build on Titanx ecosystem, you can probably outperform whatever your stake just by playing the protocols in the ecosystem. Not financial advice, but that's probably because I have some stakes, and I'll probably be doing that. It's probably how I'm going to play it.
That's actually a very good point.
Burn your stakes. I'll be the last man standing. It'll be all protocols and just me.
All good. I'll be playing around in the protocols like a happy man.
Yeah,
happy camper.
Yeah, I was talking about that with the big fear on people are like, oh, all the stakes are coming out. Yeah, if I had, well, I do have. What am I talking about? I have stakes coming out. Oh, actually, I have a stake coming out probably tomorrow or the next day. And guess where it's going? Farms, baby. Farms didn't exist when I staked that. Half these protocols didn't exist when I staked that. I have so many more things to do with my Titanx that I stake now.
Man, it was so funny. I was on a call with my dad today, and his Titanx went up a bit, and he's like, "Okay, what should we do now?" And I'm like, "Well, let me catch you up," because the last time I called him was like a month ago. So I'm like, "Yeah, we have Element 280 now. We have Titan Farms," and he's like, "Huh?"
He's like, "Slow down." What?
Yeah, we talked about this a month ago. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty fast here."
Hey, we got another guest. We're turning into a little group stream here. All right, you guys ready? Oh, wow! I pulled Erwin on and Jake just jumped. I didn't pull Jake off. I did not do that. I didn't do that.
Let's go.
Was that the deja vu in the Matrix?
Dude, no, mate.
369, baby.
Yep. I took a day off streaming, and now it feels like I'm rusty as hell. Feels like I haven't worked for a year.
Right.
Yeah, I clicked the exit button by accident. I'm like, wait, what? How does this work again?
I did that on stream the other day. I completely clicked off my screen. I was like, well, so much for being on my own stream. Jeez. Yeah.
How some people do it, like Bad Sports and Jake. It's the amount of time and effort that you need to put in to actually reach those numbers, like he's saying, make so much tweets a day, so much reposts. People underestimate how much time it takes to just create one post. I mean, just pressing a button is easy, but making a really good engagement rich post, it's not easy to constantly just keep putting it out there. And these guys are just doing it like it's insane.
So the way I've always done it, this is for like a general community marketing, is I've always looked at Twitter as a public notepad. It's like, like the notes you type to yourself, etc., etc. I just, whatever I type to myself, I post as a tweet. Like Twitter is like my brain dump essentially.
Right.
So when I'm looking at like a protocol, I'm like, oh, let me take a screenshot, share it. The stuff that I would do in like personal notes, I just post it on Twitter. That helps me a lot for like hitting marketing numbers.
Okay, from now on, I'm gonna see it as post-its. I already see it as a fridge with all these yellow post-its on it, and then just put it from the fridge on your screen. So here we go.
Yep.
Let's go.
That's hilarious.
Love your streams,
Alright.
by the way, Callum. You're freaking crushing it. Your energy, your excitement. You got the face, you got the voice, you got the excitement. Don't stop, man. Keep on.
Thank you.
crushing.
I appreciate that. And I would love to do a stream with you sometime. If that's all right. About
Yeah.
Morpheus. How are you
I
feeling
sent
about the
you a DM,
Morpheus?
actually. Yeah.
Oh, are you the one behind the account?
Yes.
Because I don't know. Okay, yeah. We can set something up.
But he's in the account, can't you see? This is the account behind him. He's one with the Matrix.
Let's go.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Morpheus launch? Me and Mo were just talking about it.
It's overwhelming, to be honest. We didn't expect anything close to what just happened. To be quite frankly honest, we came into this community pretty new. Even though we were in it from day one, we were not public about it. So to be accepted in this community the way that we were is so refreshing and eye-opening, and I can't say enough good things about this community. That's pretty much it. Words don't even describe it, pretty much.
And you guys are going to continue to build, right? There's big plans for the future.
Yes. Yeah. Morpheus from the beginning was just a stepping stone. It was to solidify a base. And once you solidify the base, you can actually start building. And I don't think people realize how hard it is to actually create a good base and a good foundation. It could take years or decades to reach that point. And from that point on, you actually start thriving. And for us to be able to reach that point so quick, that's all up to thanks to the community. We never could have done it by ourselves.
Yeah. So is it going to be like another kingdom? Is that the way you want it to kind of be formed?
I mean, at this point, it's just going with the flow. The development and building on Titanx is so rapid that it's almost impossible to predict what's going to be needed next, what needs to be done next. For example, the whole Vol thing. We came out with Morpheus, and a day later, Steve DeFi comes up with the pillars for the fold wheel. We didn't ask. He didn't tell us. He just did it. I mean, where else do you find things like this? Where people just see an opportunity and see a void that can be filled, and they instantly do it. No questions asked. No, just let's build. I mean, I've never experienced something like this. And I've been in crypto
100%.
long, like 2016. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. I've been in a lot of communities, from ADA to Matic to XRP to you name them. I'm pretty much been in all of them. But this is something truly special.
Hell yeah, community of builders. Because I was watching Eric's stream because he did like a Q&A for Titanfall, and he started talking about Viper. It's so funny because like Steve just builds on everybody's stuff and never says a word. Like even you guys,
Right.
he's building Zion on Morpheus. It's just like, yeah, I'm building it.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it? I love it.
Dude, it's freaking amazing. It is literally freaking amazing. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, and all these
this
things help the protocols. Like it would be a bad thing if it was like a vampire attack, but it's a fully beneficial protocol built on top of something, and then feeding the pillars through the liquidity without having to sell it down. It's like what would be the opposite of a vampire attack?
Like an angel attack or something?
An angel hug.
Yeah.
An angel hug. Yeah, it can't be an attack.
Dude, if we could get this movement and this sentiment into the real world, Could you imagine what kind of world we would be living in right now instead of the cesspool it is right now?
Jake for president, yeah.
Dude. Could you imagine?
It was so funny. I'll be president, and all I would do is talk about crypto. He's like, yeah, the border is getting overrun. yeah, but since you see the gains yesterday, though, did you see the APR on fund?
You're like, the border on the blockchain? What are we talking about here?
His vice president will be, sir, I need you to sign this. Wait. I got to do 30 posts today, man. Come on.
Rule of 100. Come on.
Mr. President, we're under attack. Hang on. I'm not done with the tweets. I gotta crank this out. Hang on. We'll get to it.
Still gonna like 100 times, man. Chill out.
1 second, I need to claim a miner. He's like, oh fuck.
What's the economic
so
policy of the
on?
United States? Titanx miners? What?
Put the treasury in farms. Elementarian farms. The whole US
Pretty
treasury,
much.
do it.
It's more sustainable than the US dollar. Jeez. Okay. I've realized I can derail my own streams. I'm fine. YouTube's already given me they're like, look, I'm going to give you 3 strikes right now, and it's just temporary, but we know we're going to give them to you permanently, so go ahead. I'm already getting all that from YouTube. I have a list on, like, you can't abbreviate
It's just
swear
made
words.
my day.
All right,
right.
so we wanted to do
My
a
whole
stream
daily is,
about we wanted to do the stream about the protocols. I think we wanted to do like a review of all the protocols. Ah, sweet. Yeah, we got derailed that a little bit. It's good fun.
All right, let's bring up the screen. Okay. Look at that. We're at the top now. So whoever's at the bottom doesn't get cut off with the next comment. Okay, so you want to do future ones or you want to do the ones where we're at right now?
Let's do all of them. So how do you want to do it, like person per person? And we just rapid fire them thoughts?
Yeah. Let's go through it. We'll start with the big daddy. Titanx post day 369. Callum, what do you think, man? Where are we going from here? What are you excited about?
I mean, initially I'm thinking, why are people dumping? Right now, this is, in my opinion, why would you be dumping now? This is the worst possible situation ever. I mean, it's kind of good. I guess everyone that believes and has got their payout, it's like a little flash sale. So you can pick up whatever you want on a little discount. So yeah, I mean, what I think about Titanx, man, I've got nothing bad. I'm bullish, so bullish on it. I think these numbers on here we're just getting started, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what it's going to be like in 12 months when all these are different, all the projects are merged and changed around. So yeah.
It looks like people don't correlate to hyper-deflation. We've been preaching hyper-deflation, especially Jake, but people don't realize that the equation of hyper-deflation is hyper price appreciation. And we haven't even started yet. It's going to be fireworks.
You know, I have this like a little fetish. Whenever I see like a big whale sell, I'm like, oh yeah, I like that.
What the hell?
Yeah, because the thing with sellers is in Titanx, there's no way to create more coins. So once you're out, you're out. And I'd rather have them out now. So I'm like, oh yeah.
I was talking about that with Callum. Like, you know, in the 5-0 territory, all the early miners are 2, 3, 4x, depending on where you start them. So, you know, if we get to 5 zeros and a 2, 5 zeros and a 3, that's some big money for those early miner people. And when they exit, they can't ever get in at that price that they already had. So they're going to have to wait a long time to make that next 5x or the next 10x. So I'm kind of like you. When they exit, I'm like, oh, that's some low price Titanx that is out of the system. Now you need to buy it back at current prices. Let's go. Get out.
Just the fractions alone. People, we now have, we talk about 1 billion Titanx like it's nothing, but there's going to be a point we're going to 1 million. and then it's going to go 100,000, and then you're the man when you hold 10,000 Titanx. That point is going to come. People don't realize how a bull run works. These moves are quick and rapid, and yeah, the market maker always makes sure that it leaves you behind. So generally in crypto, you create a floor, do a 5, 6, 10x, create a new floor, and go on, just staircasing up. But that moment from one price floor to the next price floor only uses, or what, hours, days, if you're lucky.
Yeah. The liquid supply has gone down so much. What? That's
Yeah,
in the
and this
last
was-
few days.
This is with a guy end stake in a trillion, and it was still under 19%. So all these like end stake doom and gloomers, you know, they're building like the little doom bunkers under the blockchain. Like, oh no, the end stakes, save me. It's like, okay, dude. Yeah, we're under 19% liquid. So good.
Look,
That's insane.
what could you do with your Titanx 6 months ago when you staked it? What can you do with it now? Almost an infinite amount of things now. I mean, I'm not worried. I know what I'm going to be doing with my Titanx that's on staking, and it's not leaving. Not at all.
Yeah,
I think,
same.
yeah.
I mean, I also have some Titanx coming out from stakes that I did, like I think 2 or 3 months ago. I staked it until after 369 because I was like, I'm holding it anyway. Might as well get some Ethereum for it. I'm not going to be dumping it. Like, we're just getting started. So, like, I think a lot of people were thinking that, just like, hey, if I'm going to hold it anyway, might as well stake it and stake it, you know, get some free Ethereum in the process.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal at all.
If you're going to hold it, why not get a couple extra bucks for holding it? Yeah, that was exactly what I thought.
It's kind of what happened on day 280 as well. Everyone was expecting people to dump, but everyone was like, had the same mindset of they wanted to stay in the system. So no one did. And then there was that huge amount of FOMO. So yeah. And now
Yeah,
there's
and
even more options.
This is the crazy part because from bottom to where we are now, we did a 9x-ish, anywhere between 8 and 10x. That was with 35 trillion tokens coming out. We still did an 8 to 10x. So like everybody worried about like these little numbers and shit. It's like, math is pretty simple.
And this is with ETH going down. This is with a lot of supply coming out. Like, what the hell is going to happen in the next few months? It's going to be insane.
A Shogun.
Oh yeah,
I was working on it today. Oh my god, that might be why. What would you call it? Your magnum opus? That might be mine. It's a fucking monster. I love it. I think Shogun is amazing.
X28 isn't your magnum opus? You're going to say Shogun's your magnum opus?
Maybe. I mean, with Shogun, we might be able to build Shogun on each chain on X28. That's something I'm thinking about.
Oh.
And then have it cooperate with the Ethereum version somehow. Oh, I'm still kind of like thinking through that. But Shogun in of itself as a protocol, ooh, I like it.
Can you tell us anything new about it? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's a combination of a bunch of stuff. So Steve got me inspired with the perpetual auctions, and then I also got inspired by Element 280. I have some crazy ideas. So Shogun will be paired with everything in the ecosystem. It will have a buy and sell tax, and the buy and sell tax, half will be burned, half will go towards the perpetual vault. So the vault will be fed from stuff outside of the buy and burn. That's one element of it. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. So there's going to have a lot of thick liquidity pools, very, very thick liquidity pools, similar to Vault with all the Build on Titanx ecosystem projects. It's going to be all paired. So even all the Vault builders and stuff are going to get paired with Shogun. And there's another part, an infrastructure part that I'm working through now, like with the arbitrage thing. Yeah, I'm like 85% there with the game theory. I'm like mapping everything out, creating diagrams, running some numbers. But I'm excited for Shogun. It's the goal is to make it one of the biggest Titanx burners. It could be bigger than Hydra relatively quickly.
Do you have an idea how
And it's
much?
hyper-deflationary.
Yeah. Do you have an idea how much the buy and sell tax is going to be?
8% is what I'm leaning at
8%.
because
Yeah, of course.
what I've noticed, it was either 2.8 or 8. But then what I noticed, because I'm a user of Element 280, and I don't mind paying the 16%. I'm like, I'm up it's fine. It's a hyper-deflationary token. It's like it's fine. It's like a secondary thought, especially if you can mint it without paying the fees. Like with Shogun, you're going to be able to enter the auction and essentially get Shogun without having to pay the transfer tax. So people can still build big positions. It's only when they exit that they really that they'll feel it, but they won't feel it if they're up. Similar to Element 2, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to profit. Who cares about a little transfer fee?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of 8% because it's going to have paired with everything in the ecosystem. The arbitrage bots on Ethereum are heavy. It's like big amounts constantly. It's like it buys $500, then runs routes to the pair, then leaves with like $2 of profit. But while doing that, it's generating like $1,000 of volume for the token. And then if you have 8% tax on that, the arbitrage bot maybe makes $2 of like profit on Ethereum. But it also has to buy Titanx first. So all these arbitrages buy Titanx and then sell it for like a 2% profit. But they generate all this volume throughout the ecosystem, which then feeds back in through Titan farms, etc. So it's actually arbitrage bots are actually net positive for our ecosystem, even though they run away with 2% profit or 1% or whatever. But every time they do that, if they pay an 8% tax, let's say they do the routing with like $1,000 to make $7, that's $80 feeding the vault and burning Shogun with every orb that happens.
That amounts up to a lot quickly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember when we first started with Morpheus and doing the game theory and everything and trying to figure everything out, we were thinking of a sell tax as well. And then we wanted to implement, if you would wanted to sell Morpheus, you would have a sell tax. And it would be negated if you would put it in a V3 liquidity position. So we would incentivize people to do crypto correctly and exit crypto correctly. So if they did it correctly, you would circumvent the 8% or whatever amount of sell tax that was on the token. But in the end, we went a different way.
Yeah.
But it's a really good way
One
to
of the issues.
incentivize.
One of the issues with only sell tax is it's massively easy to circumvent.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of just transfer. You do it on everything: buy, sell, transfers. Yeah, because Element 280 wanted to do only sell tax as well, and I convinced you to do only fully transfer. Because otherwise, it's way too easy to game and it's like impossible to keep track of. Because if you do only sell tax, for example, it checks the pool that it's selling into to do the tax on. But if you do, somebody can create another pool, and then you have to like put that pool into the check, and then they start another pool, put that pool into the check, and then before you know it, every transfer, buy or sell of your token has massive amount of gas fees because it needs to check against 80 pools. So it's like it's not future proof. So yeah, it's going to be an all around tax.
So it's going to be kind of like a Vault E280 hybrid, and the value proposition is perpetual auctions similar to Vault. Is it going to be as aggressive as Vault, or have you thought about the percentages yet?
Yeah, it's going to be similar, but I have tweaks on it.
Is this coming before X28 or after?
Before, probably. I don't think this will take that long to build.
Ooh.
How close is X28? Because it's not easy to do things only.
Oh, it's done. Yeah, I built
Really?
this. I built this a while ago. Yeah,
Golly, dude, people
I just need to do my second audit.
Let's go.
Oh my land.
Yeah,
Let's go.
X28 has been built for like 2 months now. First audit was already done. That was finished like 2 months ago. 0 issues. So I do want to do a second audit just to be sure. But yeah, X28 is done. Has been done for like 2 months.
November 28 for Shogun, December 28 for X28.
I would love to launch Shogun then, but it depends on building because the code is not that complicated. I don't think it's that hard. So I don't think it should be. Titanx was confusing as fuck. But since Shogun has no staking, etc., it should be relatively simple. So I don't think the build will take too long on that. And the UI, I do the UI. And I'm fast as fuck. Just give me a coffee and I'm good to go. Coffee and half a day, baby. Let's get it.
Coffee and a nicotine gum and let's go.
Jake, why?
All right.
Yeah.
Why did you decide not to implement staking? Are you against
because I
it?
want people to dump on hyper-deflationary things. I want people out. So instead of like having them, because Eric talks about this a lot. Because with staking, you keep lettuce hands in. So then they become letters later on at like higher prices. Staking gets people itchy. which creates way better price charts because then you get lettuce hands out quicker. So you can create way stronger price floors. You have stronger hands, especially on hyper-deflationary things, because lettuce hands can get relatively big as supply starts to dwindle. So yeah, no staking. And I also want to do some cool thing. Actually, yeah, another thing that Shogun will do, since all the pairs will be V2, since we have a tax, all the build on Titanx protocols will essentially have an extra supply sink built on them with all the volume that Shogun is generating to that pair. Every time they do that, the fees get locked in the V2 pools. So all the build on Titanx will have extra supply sink of all the tokens. All of them. So Morpheus as well.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Dude, if you could teleport right now, a year from now, you would not believe your eyes. People will not.
No, I want to go a year back.
Right. Okay. Yeah, man. Golly. Fair point.
Yeah, I'm not prepped to go a year forward, man. I need to go a year back and get myself all really ready. Oh, Lord.
It's gonna be
All right, so
glorious.
day 369. Technically, the big day is DragonX. So, what do y'all think about DragonX?
Good. It's vibing.
Good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's just there, humming in the background, being a nice guardian angel.
Yeah,
do you think,
DragonX
Cal?
is good.
Do you think this is going to be a... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Cal.
What do I think? I mean, DragonX, yeah, it's just absolutely insane. I think, honestly, instead of holding liquid Titanx, I just hold liquid DragonX. I just see it as an insane value proposition. Like, as long as Titanx is around, and as long as if there's ever mining again become profitable, it's going to do so well. And with Hydra as well, it's just, I'd like to see if Eric continues to build stuff on DragonX or to benefit DragonX. But I mean, he doesn't even need to. He is.
Yeah.
Tell us. Was it the Death Star? He mentioned something about a Death Star.
No, he's definitely building on Think and DragonX, from what I know.
Okay. Yeah. Which is even more bullish. Like on its own, it's for me, it's like a no-brainer. But with more stuff in the future coming, it's like bullish. For sure.
Yep.
What do you think happens with going forward as it goes to hit its sort of next range of price discovery? Do you think it just gets crazy volatile? Do you think it's
I think we've had
kind of maybe a... Go ahead.
I think we've had the washout of the DragonX because a lot of big whales are exiting during the couple of candles you see here. So I think DragonX is almost past its like full distribution event because every price floor has like a distribution event. So yeah, that's why charts have like this staircase pattern because the price goes up and then you have supply distribution to new people. Supply goes up, price goes up, supply distribution to new people. And the moment the lettuce hands are out and then it gets replaced by strong hands, that's when you get new price levels and new price floors. And you can see that beautifully on the DragonX chart. It's like, distribution, distribution, distribution.
Yeah, this is not normal. Normally, when a high volume instant occurs, so let's say you have that first spike after the blue line you set, you see the increase in volume. Those levels usually wants to be retested, but it never does. Then you get the new high volume event after it in September. It usually needs to be retested. Never did. And this is something special. Normally volume that comes into needs to be retested, but it never did. It just keeps on going.
That's because you have a
that
rational
volume
bias.
just keeps ramping up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, how aggressive it was absolutely insane. Especially at the beginning. I remember buying like $300 worth and it pushed up the price by like 0.5% or something crazy. I was like, what the hell? And I think that's because the liquidity. I mean, Jake, what was the like? Why was it so aggressive at the beginning?
Yeah, just a small liquidity pool.
Yeah. Do you think could be a benefit for projects? Because what they've done is insane. They had small liquidity and now they've got really big liquidity.
Ideally, you want to have a relatively smaller liquidity pool. And then once you grow on the lock and the price floor, that's when you go to ticker liquidity. Because at some point, having a small liquidity pool and a big market cap just doesn't make any sense. But like anything below 10 million, you can actually get away with low liquidity for like easy pumps. But then and once you go above like 10 million-ish, you want thicker liquidity. So like once you're at 10 million, 400, 500k of liquidity. Once you're at like 50 million, you want to have like 1 million to 2 million liquidity. Once you go above that 100 million, you definitely want to have like 3 to 5 million of liquidity, which is kind of like the market creates this automatically of users creating liquidity pools and stuff. You end up reaching these ratios.
So it wasn't done by design for DragonX?
No, it's just the market. Like the market kind of knows this stuff, and liquidity providers know this stuff. It's like,
yeah.
What would be the ideal ratio to you between liquidity and market cap, percent-wise?
No idea.
5.
The thing that matters most is the, I guess you call it buy-side liquidity. So like DragonX, Titanx is the buy-side liquidity. So as long as that's close to 50% or more than the sell-side liquidity, that's good. But like a ratio, I haven't actually ever thought about the ratio. Because you have $1 billion market cap things that only have $10 million of liquidity.
Right.
And they seem to do just fine.
Yes.
So yeah, people use this liquidity thing always, and every single token. It's like there's not enough liquidity to sell into. And then it goes from like 10 million to $1 billion. And you're like, oh yeah, nice. It's always like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always look at the liquidity, but don't look at the volume. You can have 1 million in liquidity on a 50 million market cap coin and still have 100 million in volume on just 1 million of liquidity. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because one of the other things is a lot of people look at liquidity as that's the only money in a project, but that's not the case. Like for example, when let's say a Lamborghini is on the market, there's not like a Uniswap liquidity pool with money sitting there to buy the Lamborghini. It's just if a Lamborghini is a good price, the money appears out of nowhere. And it's the same with liquidity pools. The liquidity exists outside. It's like real estate. Nobody has limit orders on real estate. It's just like, hey, this is a good price. The money appears. And that's the liquidity. It's liquidity off market. And that's where almost all the liquidity is, which is essentially volume, like Erwin was saying.
So can I ask
on
a question?
demand liquidity? Yeah.
I just want to ask. So Jake, for projects launching, what do you think is the best approach about forming liquidity?
Let it naturally grow.
Yeah.
That's the finest thing.
Okay.
The best approach is talk to Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Shogun is also going to have 8% going towards liquidity. So it's also going to have a very thick liquidity pool.
But that's going to be
the cool thing
spread
about like these percentages. Yeah, it's going to be spread across all pairs.
Yeah, okay.
But that is going to be Titanx Shogun is probably going to be the biggest pair, but then all the other pairs are going to have very sufficient liquidity, because we want people, when they do either compound or re-enter auctions or sell Shogun at the Titanx, we don't want it to hurt the other projects. So that's why the Titanx Shogun pool should be the biggest, because then they can just go direct Titanx without having to sell something else down along the way.
I've got a question about the wheel. One thing I don't understand about it. When it gets to the actual wheel token, it's dumping, it's selling that to then go back in. Or is it always buying up? Does that make sense?
Yeah. The wheel thing I haven't looked too deep into.
Because it's difficult to get your head around, to be honest.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I think it's like an arbitrage thing. Like the wheel exists purely as arbitrage to push volume across the pairs and then do its thing. Yeah, I don't think wheel is going to be in a buy and hold token. I think it's going to be like more of an active protocol on top of the pillars when it comes to like a Volt. Yeah, but Steve is dropping all these gems. Like he's with Volt. He's like, what he wanted to do Volt staking and getting the liquidity fees. I was like, damn, it's a fucking cool idea. He said it like for 2 seconds, then he moves on to another thing, and I was like, wait, rewind.
Such a cool idea. And then he said he would release it to everyone, so any project could do it in the future.
Yeah,
I mean, insane. Imagine.
The contract is actually relatively simple. All you need is, because I was talking, yeah, I looked into it. So basically, you just need a smart contract. When you create a Uniswap V3 position, you can only do this with Uniswap V3, because with V2s you can't get the fees out. But with V3 you can just get the fees out. So you create the NFT, send it to a smart contract. Like for example, the Titanx buy and burn V1 has the code on how to collect fees from the NFT. So it's just collect fees function as publicly callable. And then the only difference would be you would send the liquidity fees to a contract that would distribute to stakers based on a percentage of a staking pool that they own. And then the only thing you would have to do is, like, for example, with Shogun, Shogun is not going to be able to do, because I was thinking about it, because it's going to be V2 pools. Otherwise, I would do something similar. But with the V3 pool, all you have to do is send an NFT to a smart contract that is able to read what NFT it owns, and then just register the ID. It's important to register ID, so otherwise people can create malicious liquidity pools with malicious tokens, and it will get approvals on the smart contract and train it. So you need a registration system on like, okay, this is the liquidity pool ID, the V3 NFT ID, and it needs to register, and then you should be able to collect fee functions on the NFT IDs. It's not that complicated of a contract. It's just an idea that nobody has thought about.
Yeah. But
Yep.
when you hear it, you're like, holy shit, that is such a... Like, how does he keep coming up with these ideas? It's actually insane.
When he
I love
dropped it, Jake literally detached from the chat. He was just like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, I was watching.
That's amazing. Yeah, when Jake looks to the up and to the right, good things are coming. I'm telling you. There's
Yeah.
ears turning, and I get excited.
Because I think almost all projects use the liquidity pool fees in some way. Like, for example, Titanx, the fees that the percentage of the pool that the contract owns, the Titanx it gets burned, and the Ethereum gets sent to the buy and burn. So the fees are also a form of extra buy and burning of Titanx. Same thing with Hydra, same thing with Hyper. But I never actually thought about, because if you have a hyper-deflationary thing, the extra burn from liquidity fees isn't that much. But then if you can stake a hyper-deflationary thing and have like lockups and stuff, that's actually a really cool idea.
Would it still create that issue, though, that you were talking about before with staking?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But man, every token has its own design, like Element 280. You kind of want people to dump. And people want to dump less because like that's like the whole design of Element 280. Yeah, every project kind of has its goal. Shogun is just going to be hardcore deflate and hold on.
Dumping an element 280 is awesome because it's like you dump and you get a bunch of money and you're like, yeah, look at that. And then a day later and you look and you're like, wait, I just dumped way too early. Damn it.
Yeah, but I noticed something very interesting. I've noticed something very interesting about Element 280. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we got a new entrant, Mr. Mike D.
Mr.
Mike.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going great.
Going good.
Fantastic, man. I just came back. I had leg day actually today, so my leg hurts, man. So I'm here with you guys. Can barely
I
walk.
heard you skipped leg day.
Yeah.
I did not skip leg day today. Callum texted me earlier. He's like, man, no skipping of leg day today.
Got 40 to do it.
Yeah.
Mike, what are your thoughts
on? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on this post 369 and where we're going from here?
This is, I mean, it's beautiful, man. I think obviously, like this morning, I was very busy because, well, unfortunately, some of the guys who had their wallet compromised, I had to rescue the ETH as well. Like some of them had some stakes. So there was some few ETH on the line today. And my code, there was one thing wrong in my code. And I was freaking out this morning, man. I mean, oh God, I was literally sweating. But anyhow, everything went well. Unfortunately, like one bot, like one scammer got the ETH. But yeah, well, it is what it is. I guess you live and learn.
Yeah, I saw you saved 3 or 4 of them, didn't you? Is that what you said?
I think it was 5 or so. Yeah, 5.
Nice job.
Yeah. And one of the guys, Buja, shout out to Buja, he donated the payout actually to me. I got the payout, and then he's like, dude, you know what, man, you helped me so much because I think I saved, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 70 or 80K of his miners were saved.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, that was like a few months ago. So
good.
Yeah, nice job, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely way more now, definitely. So I guess that payout today, he was like, oh man, I gotta give it to you. I was like, hey man, appreciate you, man. Can't complain. I will not say no.
Make my team retire. Let's go.
Your day was basically adrenaline, cortisol, and leg day. Sounds like heaven.
That's exactly. I was so done, man. I was sweating and everything. I was like, oh god. And then, yeah. But finally, man, yeah. And also I got the new I got the what do you say, the new MacBook Pro. Well, I haven't got it yet, but I did the how you call it, the pre-order thingy.
Nice.
The M4?
M4 Max. It just came out today, essentially. Like I think 2 hours ago or an hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours. I think they just announced it, and you can pre-order it.
Oh, nice. I'm still here sitting with my old M3 Max.
I was about to be like, Jake's about to go off stream.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I love this one. So I have like the fully spec'd M3 Max, 128 gigabytes, 1 tera, 128 gigabytes RAM. I basically just pick max everything. I was like, I'm on this thing all day long. If there's one thing I spend money on, it's my laptop.
Same.
I think I did exactly that. I wanted to order one like 3 weeks ago. My buddy was just like, no, just wait, man. The M4 is coming out soon, like few weeks. Just wait. I was like, but
so hard.
Yeah. But hey, shout out to DragonX. Well, definitely a bit of DragonX got the laptop, so fair enough.
Let's go.
Shout out to
You
Eric.
put in the hard work, so.
Well,
I'm gonna remember this 10x from here, and I'm gonna be like, "How's that laptop feel now?"
I mean, I held through the bear market, the Titanx bear market. So, well, there's that, you know. There was one stretch where Eric was nowhere to be seen and everything, and people exited. Like, I mean, you can see it on the graph on Titanx Premium, where people like just started leaving. Like it just goes down, and then at some point, oh my god, yeah, DragonX, crazy, man.
I can't believe it went below a 1-to-1 ratio. Imagine getting it.
I know.
I got some at 0.2, if I'm not mistaken. 0.2. I was like, what? Holy fuck? Yeah. I mean, I think it went even lower. I think what was
legend?
Did it go?
I didn't even know it went that low.
It went to 0.2.
Yeah, it wicked. You got that wick?
Yeah, I got that wick, man. Yeah.
Man, I was about to brag that I bought at like 0.5. you just stole all my lightning. Damn it.
You're like,
I got the wig, yeah. But it was, I mean, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna put something there. Maybe something happens, you know. So yeah.
You're already being called a cheater for your laptop buy.
I had to, man. I had to like list one thing, you know. The first thing was like for my apartment, like this robot thingy, like the vacuum robot.
Oh, you're enslaving your own kind.
I know. Like, you are a robot, Mike. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was like the first week or so on Titanx. I was like, okay, man, like, because I was doing a lot of stuff, whatever, and I was like, I need to get one thing which is like real life, you know, I can touch it. So I got that thing.
Okay, wait, okay. I feel like we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. Let's try and stay on topic.
Yeah, sorry.
I had like 30 jokes ready to go. We just pull them out. Okay.
Sorry. All good, man.
All right, let's talk about hyper. Let's kind of crank down through this list here.
Yep.
And let's give our thoughts on this. So hyper passed day 369. Yes. Where do you think we're going with this? And I want to pull up the UI because I love looking at that buy and burn. Ooh-wee. Yeah, 5.6 stuffed in that one. Plus almost another 500,000 with the vortex.
Yeah, the cool thing about hyper is that so the buy and burn interval was turned up from 180 minutes to 90 minutes, and the buy and burn balance is still increasing. So it's refilling faster than it spends. Fantastic. Most people probably haven't even noticed that, but the machines are warming up.
Oh yeah, that's I did not actually notice that part. That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's 3 protocols launching on it. So you have Matrix.win, you have Warp, and Turbo from Steve.
Yep.
Yeah, Hyper has just been this lone soldier. He's fighting hordes of enemy on its own. Next to time.
And it's buy and burn is building on its own through just the participation in it. and you just told me that 3 protocols are being built on Hyper.
Yep.
I just
Yeah.
want to re-emphasize that because there's so much happening. It's easy to lose track of what's happening. But 3 things are coming. You don't have enough Hyper. Just throw that one out there. Good Lord.
Yeah, and also the hyper farms on Titan farms are also pretty damn good. So you have a Titanx hyper pair on farms, and that's at, let me pull it up here.
Yeah.
327% is the highest paying pair in all of the farms, hyper Titanx.
Yep.
Damn.
Hey, it pays to pay attention.
Nice.
Yes, it does. 85% of all the Hyper and Titanx is being managed by that one. That's not bad. Damn.
85%.
Shout out to 41.7 million in liquidity in farms. Wow.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Wow. And you give a base to Tink, and that's going to, I think that's going to help that liquidity number even more. Good Lord.
Yeah,
This is gonna
think
get
about that.
wild. Think about that, would you?
I like the new design, the Titan Farms, the top section here, like similar to Titanx, you know, those the 2 card
Agree.
thing. I like it.
Yeah, maybe you got a little inspiration from someone in the community for that.
Yeah.
Who
I
knows?
mean, it's a good one. I think it's good. Good to see what works and use that, man.
Let me pull up the hyper chart because we talked about it, but I didn't actually bring it up here. Look at that. All right, ready? Fade, FUD, fade, FUD. Oh, oops.
How about that?
Fucking oops. How'd that happen? I didn't think about it hard enough. Something happened.
How much is
All
it
right,
up
and then
from its
3
lows?
things. Oh, well,
Let's see.
'Cause
From
I
the
swear
wick.
It crashed like
Oh man, it's up 530x from the wick.
500. Damn.
Mike. Did
If
you
you do
catch
the
that
bottom
one?
of the wick.
No, I mean I got
Oh, yeah,
some
I
in
did.
the low, but not that low.
Yeah. Imagine if he did.
I didn't even catch the wick. God damn it.
No, I didn't get the wick. No. I
Me
mean,
neither.
it's
Good Lord.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing the first stream after 281, and I had just looked at Hyper, and I was like, "Who missed the X's on Hyper? Good Lord, we all did. Who missed the X's on DragonX? Everybody did. Like, wow, a lot of history in our system of fading a protocol in its early days and then being proven wrong not too long after."
Right?
Jake, have you ever thought about creating another model similar to Hyper and Titanx? Obviously, you've got Hydra, but is there because you could copy and paste it surely and start kind of do the pillar thing?
I could. I think I have a better system with Shogun.
The
Or
auctions.
yeah, because with the mining thing, you definitely want it to be concentrated. Like the cool thing about mining also scales. It could be possible. It could be possible because Hyper was kind of designed to be built on top of things, which is kind of what Hydra became. But then we tweaked some stuff, like no staking, etc. Yeah. First, I want to unleash the monster, my magnum opus, Shogun.
Have you given Alpha our Shogun yet, or did I miss something?
Little bit, but not much.
Yeah, you give it a
I'm
little
like
bit. Just a
85% there with the game theory.
Lovely.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
Can you share something already, or is it a bit too early for that?
Well, yeah. I mean, the main change is using so there is going to be a tax. There's going to be 8% tax on Shogun. There's going to be a perpetual auction system similar to Vault, not the exact same, but similar.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that after, so it's going to be a 28-day distribution.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to have 2.8 billion tokens. After that, the only thing that gets auctioned off is what the buy and burn buys, half of it, and what comes from trap for taxes. So instead of the Vault only being fed by the buy and burn, it also gets fed via a transfer tax that sends half of the tokens it gets to the Vault. We're not going to call it vault. We're going to call it the war chest, because like
Mhm.
Shogun, it's like war. And
I like it.
it's going to have massive liquidity paired with everything in the ecosystem. So a big thing that is going to feed the perpetual war chest is going to be arbitrage bot with the transfer taxes. It's going to have pairs with everything in the ecosystem. So 8% of all the Titanx that comes in goes towards liquidity. Then it will create liquidity pools, burn the LP tokens. So it's all going to be burn liquidity with all the tokens in the ecosystem, which essentially becomes supply sinks for everything. So that includes Vault, that includes all the pillars of Vault. Literally every single token is going to have a pair with Shogun, with burn liquidity. That's going to create arbitrage in between the pair. All the arbitrage bots are going to pay 8%. Half of that 8% goes to burn Shogun. The other half feeds the war chest for the perpetual auctions. That's a big design element of it. And then there's some other stuff I'm still working on.
Interesting, man. So what?
And
what are you-
20%, 20% of Titanx that comes in gets burned.
20%. Okay, well, that's great. Yeah. So you're definitely going to be up in the list there with Titanx sub.
Okay, yeah, maybe never. What? Nah, is it? Because DragonX has so many things like feeding the vault.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Maybe I can beat Hydra. I think I could beat Hydra. It just needs time.
Yeah, I mean, Hydra. Yeah, Hydra. You should be able to.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Can you share the numbers again here, Mo? Maybe you can have a look at that.
Which
It'll be
one?
interesting.
I'll
Titanx sub. So that we can just see the numbers. Okay. So Hydra has how much right now? 4.75 trillion. That's
Pretty
great.
good.
Yeah, but hold on, Hydra. I have to think about it again. It's that is sent to the DragonX anyway, right? Was it
DragonX vault.
Yeah,
Yep.
DragonX vault. Okay, yeah. I think it will be also great. I think Eric is going to do that as well, to show all the contribution of all the projects which have sent to the DragonX vault. Like I tried to do that. I think like with the Titanx sub stats bots.
Mhm.
So the burn contributors. I think I have it on Inferno, if I'm not mistaken. So I show every project which has been burning Inferno, and I think it's good, to just showcase that other projects are actually contributing as well.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
Yeah,
I like that.
Hey, two ideas I heard recently. One of them from Utah.
Yes.
Can we get a overall total of all the cumulative buy and burns system wide and display that?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to
That
think
would
about it. Like,
be
what
that'd be a good-
figures? Like, do you want to know how much is in there, or
like I want to add up the V1, the V2. I want to add up all the buy and burns and all the protocols, V1 through V20, and see what that total number is in total system wide buy and burn stored up.
Okay.
Because that would be a really good feature. Because I mean, part of the early days in Titanx was looking at that giant buy and burn number. If people can come in and look in and see that there's 50 million in buy and burns. I mean, because like I was just on Hydra right here. Hydra's got 10.4 in its DragonX part. There's 1.4 in the Hydra part. There's 3.1 in the Hydra Vortex. I mean, you add all these up. You add the V1, you add the V2, you add Element 280s buy and burns. You add up all the new protocols. Morpheus has got 1 million in its.
So it's like
Awesome X has got
ecosystem buy and burn.
yeah, like ecosystem wide buy and burn. That would be a neat stat to advertise. And then the only other thing is if we could make these rows sortable, that would be kind of legit.
Yes, yeah. I'm definitely working on that. There is definitely some few things on the line which I want to put, but I mean, obviously, right now the focus is Matrix, so a lot of my time goes to that. But
how close is it, Matrix?
Ah, man.
Yeah, when Matrix? When?
So we have the UI design is done. We started yesterday deving on the front end part. So hopefully by Monday there is the first test net. But this is I'm hoping Monday there's a test net is running, and then start testing it out, and then hopefully by next week we can go like to at least probably the first audit or something. But there is some few things which need to be fixed. Man, it's just a lot of work, man. It's insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you got people like me trying to give you more work, being like, Mike, can you add this? Can you do this?
Can I sort the little table?
I know. Dude, I'm literally like, I have the list of things. I'm just like, okay, I'm deving, and then it's like in my downtime, and then I go to the Titanx hub and do like some UI stuff, so that it's just my brain is a bit more chilled. Yeah. So in my downtime is like I go on Titanx hub and do some few improvements there. But obviously there's people waiting. The portfolio page has a lot of things. One of the things is also, Jake, like I think you wanted I think there's a bit of in the Titan farms, there's still some issues there. So yeah. So I'm working on that. Yeah. The focus now is a bit more on the portfolio because that's what most people use. So I'm trying to get that. Yeah.
Awesome feature, man. You've
Element
I don't
280. I wanna
touch
see.
anyone.
Element 280, yeah. And the thing is that whenever I see what is it, D-Bank, like they're pretty quick as well, but obviously they have an army of developers, and I'm just like, I need to create my army as well now because I can't compete with them. They have Element 280 already. I was like, fuck.
Oh, are you
if
serious?
can't
Damn, that's
compete,
cool.
join them. No,
Sorry?
I love D-Bank, to be honest. It might be an idea to put some ground there.
Well, I'm not so sure to be. I mean, they have an API which you can pay and you can use it, but I use my other my own sauce in some ways, which
Exactly.
yeah.
No, I love your UI. It's freaking. The UI in general in this whole ecosystem is pretty on par. It's like you can truly see that everybody's truly putting effort in their UI, and
I mean, I think although I'm more like a backend engineer, so it's like I'm not actually like front end, like not at all, but I just like beautiful things, man. Beautiful design is like I just when I see it, I'm just like, oh, this is so good, and I want to achieve that, I don't know, that feeling, you see something,
I
you're
know
like, this is
exactly what you're
beautiful.
talking about.
Yeah.
And you
it's
can
like,
go into the deep end as well. You will always, in development, you will reach a point where you're gonna overdo it or want to overdo it.
yeah.
You constantly want to outperform your own first thought, and you can go into a deep hole and put yourself in something that doesn't really help. Sometimes it's just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And that's usually the way to go.
Yeah, I definitely, like, my brain hurts, I tell you that, man. Like, just trying to improve stuff, like, oh god. I mean, the portfolio page, right? I worked so hard on it to just get it going. I was like, oh god, definitely gained some weight through that now. But yeah.
But then
That looks great.
cortisol leg day, all good.
Then you're good to go.
Okay, let's talk about let's talk about Hydra. And I got the Hydra chart up right now, but I'm going to switch charts on you right now and show you the hyper chart. See that hyper chart? Well, what happened in the end on hyper? Not on the end, but what happened in the long run on hyper in the end? That's what happened. So here's where we are on the Hydra chart. So it looks like that sort of early, maybe the end of the middle phase on hyper. Where are we thinking Hydra's going? Because I don't know if you saw back when I had that up, but we got 10.4 million in the buy DragonX buy and burn. There's 1.4 in the buy Hydra, and there's 3.1 in the Vortex. So, I mean, I think Hydra's got a long future with a lot of legs in front of it. What do you guys think?
The main thing with Hydra is you need to get to no, I'm taking it.
Yours. You're like, this is mine.
Yeah, but Hydra, the main thing is you just need to get through the first minting cycle. It's always like that with these mining protocols. After the first minting cycle, everything always gets more sustainable and more predictable. It's the first one that's like, it's all at once, Because like once you hit the second cycle, it's like more spread out, it's more sustainable, it's more easy, it's easier to gauge things. It's also going to be way, how would you say it? It'll feel way safer going into farms because okay, the ratio is stable, similar to like hyper, moves up over time, but it's like relatively stable to be in farms. So the first mining wave, it just does whatever it does, and then after the second miner wave, that's when it gets interesting because Beast is also launching on Hydra, which is Steve's Volt version of Hydra. It's going to be interesting to see how these things perform, Hyper and Hydra, once things are built on it. Because they seem to be doing just fine just on their own.
How high was Hyper's day 88? Because I know Hydra's there's quite a lot of supply coming out.
It's always the biggest. Even though Hydra was the biggest. Hyper was the biggest. I don't know. I'd have to compare. There is one big whale that comes out on day 88. Yes. We'll have to see what he does. Because a lot of these whales, like Hyper also had a whale and he was very responsible. Like, he didn't hurt the chart at all. So you just have to look at people's behaviors.
Yeah, didn't you say it's literally majority a whale? It's like 1/3 or something, right?
Yeah, on the day 88, it's almost, I think 20 or 30% of day 88 is a whale. But he only has 88-day miner, so he's not part of like the other 87 days. So overall, he's maybe, let's see, so he's only like 5% of Hydra. It's not like a massive whale, but he owns the majority of the 88.
I mean, how do you stop something that has 5 heads?
That's a very good point.
That would have been a bunch of sexual jokes there. Anyway, Callum, want to say something?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, because I do think we've seen the same thing with Lotus as well. I'm just moving on. We've seen the same thing with Lotus. I think because it's on Premium Titanx hub now, and most people are doing max miners, so it's the same thing there. So it would be cool to see what happens with Hydra, because that could kind of forecast what could happen with Lotus as well. I mean, day 280 is the first like major example, and we all know how that went. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yep.
So regarding Hydra, because the mining cost of Hydra is constant, basically, right? But it's the price is in Titanx. So essentially, like when the price of Titanx increases, it just disincentivizes people to start again, or it's just way more expensive to start it, right? So is that the way how to keep like the system somewhat like
100%
deflationary in some ways?
There's two main levers on Hydra. One is the miner price being Titanx. So I think this is already like 2x more expensive than when it started. Then you have
1,300 right now.
Yep. You have that. And then the other massive leverage point on Hydra is DragonX. So once DragonX has its next leg up, if the Titanx ratio goes up, that's free mining ROI. So if DragonX is a 2x from here, or a 50% from here, then the mining ROI would be at 300% without Hydra moving. Because it gets that free 50% off the Archimedes lever of DragonX moving up on the ratio. Man, that was a bunch of fucking buzzwords. If DragonX goes up, the mining ratio goes up. The mining ROI.
You got in a little Kool-Aid speak there. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, you know, the view frustrum and the seesaw. Oh yeah.
Look, we're talking about balancing loops and counterbalancing weights.
Yeah, and you have the pillars. Yeah, okay. I love it.
Man. What do you how do you think about the way that people mined Hydra compared to Hyper? It seemed to be like they took that lesson and maybe mined a bit more responsibly and not so aggressively.
Yeah.
Did you see that? So
yeah, it's way more spread out. Like Hydra is very spread out across 88 days. And then you just have that big spike because that one big guy did only 88. Yeah. I think Hydra is going to be very sustainable, especially with farms. Because like the cool thing about Hydra, so on Hydra the farms are almost close to 400% a year.
Casually.
It's exactly. And so Hydra, the way I kind of look at Hydra, if you want to use it for farms, by mining, you essentially have a massive cushion on your ROI by being in the farms, where you just make free profit. So if you have 100% on your miner, you basically bought it 2x below market. So instead of paying $10,000 for $10,000 worth of coins, you paid $5,000, and then when you go into the farms, you make 400% on that 10,000. So that's more like you make an 800% on farms. So there's like a lot of math stuff going on there, but the people that get it, they get it.
Farms is amazing. I can't say it enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Callum, what do you think about Hydra?
I like it. I think it's really cool. Just the idea of it leveraging DragonX, I think, is bullish on its own. Same with Lotus leveraging kind of Volt. I think that idea is maybe people can't get their heads around yet, but it makes it just so much better. Because imagine if Titanx was built on top of DragonX. That's basically what this is. If DragonX does, like Jake was saying, a 2x, then the mining ROI goes up and everyone makes way more profit.
Are y'all seeing those penalties?
Yeah, that's early claims. So there's people that early under
in the token. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. I was about to think that there's a lot of really bummed out people here. Yeah, so when you early claim, that counts as the burned Hydra. Gotcha.
Correct. Yeah, that's early claim penalty. So if you hover over the question mark, it shows in the question mark next to penalties.
Asking ye shall receive. All right, there we go. Okay, let's we're gonna speed through this list now. Helios. Jake, what do you think about Helios?
I think it's close to going to its first mining cycle. So what's the max length on? Yeah, in 4 days, it went through its mining cycle. So at that point, I think Helios can shine. Because there's that weight of that first cycle always with these mining things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's close. Like a mining ROI is at -8%. Like it's doing better than Titanx did, which is good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and then you have like that head and shoulders on the chart, like the Verge was showing. The chart on Helios actually looks pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Crypto Connoisseur was talking about it as well.
Yeah, nice.
The crypto
if the head and shoulders play out, it's like a 10x.
Yeah, that's insane.
No, that's what you want to hear.
Right?
Yeah. It'll nuke to 0 tomorrow.
Mo's like buying more.
If I learned anything in the past 4 years, it's not to fade Chris's TA or opinions on things. He's ahead of the curve so many times. It's the same with Fibra Finance. These guys are so ahead of the curve every single time, it's not even funny.
And high testosterone.
Yeah.
It definitely helps. It's like, fuck that curve. I'm going right there.
What we see a lot with all these protocols is that people only look pretty much to two things. One is, what is my miner ROI, or what can I get out of it when it's done? And what is the chart doing right now? But nobody is looking at the actual structure or the mechanics that it does to the rest of the ecosystem. Everybody's just looking at that one number, not realizing, oh, this is only has $1.5 million in a buy and burn. This has 20 million in a buy and burn. This has so much in a vault. Nobody's looking at the underlying structure that is slowly lifting everything up. Everybody's just looking at, oh, that green number is negative. I'm not going to play with it. But dude, look into it. This is way more complex than just on the surface.
Helios shows that so well as well. Because what Mo was just showing, I'm pretty sure its Titanx stake is worth more than its market cap. I think is it 1.7 million pounds worth of Titanx, and its market cap is like 1.4, which is insane. Yeah, insane. And its payouts are in Titanx as well. So the 420 at the moment is like 800k, but there's still like 170 days left. So where's Titanx going to be then, and how much is that going to be worth? That's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, I'm excited about Helios. I'm at this point in this system, whenever anyone fades anything or it doesn't get like a lot of adoption, I start to get excited. And I'm like, oh, they don't get it yet. Okay, just wait, they'll see it.
Hey Mo, regarding your question you asked earlier, the ecosystem buy and burn. I mean, obviously it has to be in dollars because all the buy and burns have different denomination, right?
Yeah, I would just make
like just the way that we show like a buy and burn on any protocol, just tally them all up as an aggregate number.
Yeah, and I wouldn't split off Ethereum and Titanx. I would just do like one big number, so it's easy to share on social media.
Okay. I mean, like, should I? Maybe I will take. I don't know, because at the top there is the how much Titanx has been burned, but maybe I can take that off and like here, the total Titanx burned is at the top there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's only so much space, right? I mean, I have to ask the designer to make like, hey, I have a new number, make it look good.
Oh, by the way,
Everybody should,
the
buy an
ecosystem
extra
volume.
wide screen so Mike Dean can make his UI fit everything.
The ecosystem volume is actually 3 million more because 0.3% pool isn't tracking the volume.
Yeah,
So it's 16 million.
I have that on my list. I have that on the list.
Stop
But
adding
that's
to my
bigger.
work.
Wait, let's look at, like, this is interesting. Let's
Mhm.
look at a bigger one, like one of the smaller big. And that's oxymoron. The smallest, biggest L1. Or whatever I'm trying to say. So let's look
I
at
think-
Linea, for example.
Yeah.
Linea
I mean-
is
More you can go probably to the extreme. Maybe they're all listed anyway, right? I think you
Yep.
can sort them by volume and something like that.
What am I doing?
I think
You know
you should have you press the top left. There's the arrow, so you make so that you see.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
at the
have it
top.
here.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, we have our
There, yeah,
ecosystem
all
has
of them.
similar volume to L1s. Like, for example, let's use Pulse Chain because people know Pulse Chain. Oftentimes, our ecosystem is more volume than an entire L1.
There you go, right
A
there.
lot of the time. Today, Pulse Chain is a little bit higher. Yesterday, we were winning. That's kind of cool. It's cool to see, like, our ecosystem has more volume than most L1s because it's only a few L1s that are actually at above 20 million volume or 15 million volume. There's a bunch of L1s that have like maybe 100K a day in volume.
Yeah. So one of the questions, I mean, obviously, like for now, like the ecosystem volume I put there, like I just put the major liquidity pools, but I haven't added all of them. So would it make sense to just add all of them? I mean, I have those figures as well.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, do it.
Okay.
I mean, it would represent it all, so why not?
Yeah. Okay. No, fair enough. I mean, I think that's. I'll definitely do that. Yeah. I mean, I'll have to make a new table because it's quite a lot of them. So I'll have to. Yeah. I'll figure something out. But yeah, it's because that number is much higher. I mean, I could add the 0.3 pool, but it's actually much higher as well.
Yeah, because then you have like the ecosystem, like Dragon. Yeah. There's a lot. Even Element has like 20 pools.
Yes, I can add all of them. Yeah.
More work on your plate.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Absolutely. Yeah. I have a lot of ideas. A lot of things are coming, but yeah, it's there's only 24 hours, so I have to allocate it wisely.
Johnny says that Mike came to the stream and is going to be leaving with 15 call to actions.
Yeah. Mike's never coming on my stream ever again.
Let me have some fun with my friends. And then I'm exhausted.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Volt. Wow. This is I don't want to say the first because Inferno really went out of the gates, but boy, Volt might be the thing that brought our first big wave of extra adoption in. What do you guys think?
Yes. Completely
Absolutely.
agree.
Yeah.
Especially the way the liquidity pool worked, that was just mind-boggling. It starts off with 5K, and within 3 days, it was well over 1 million. I'm like, wait a minute, what did I miss? How did this happen? Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Volt, definitely. I mean, I was checking like some of the new wallets. I just did like a quick query to see like, okay, what are the wallets which don't hold any, let's say, Titanx or whatsoever, Because like if you own Uniswap and you have ETH, and if you just buy Volt, sure, in the background, it will be swapped to Titanx, but you're not holding it. You just have Volt straight away. So most of the time, people don't even know there is Titanx in between at all. So that's the beauty of it.
Oh, that's
and
a good
like
point. I never thought
we're
about that.
we're acting like an L1, but like people just don't even know, like from the outside, obviously, right? We know, but well, the people who are buying, they just don't know. They're like, oh, Volt, I like this. It's pumping.
That's fine.
Like Ivan on tech.
High design,
Is
right?
this the Titanx and the DragonX? And tell me. So funny.
This chart I'm going to bring up so many times in the next year, because this chart, the most important part, is that teeny little blue line right there. And that was some homeboy coming on the Morpheus stream and saying, Volt day 4. It's kind of a disappointment, isn't it? Oops.
I literally
Who
didn't
was
mint
that?
on that moment. Like when
I
he
do-
said
I'll have to go
went
and see
inside,
it.
started minting. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember pulling up the
Would-
Inferno chart and be like, are you the guy that faded Inferno on week 3? Because oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I look back, it's insane. I did a really small amount and I got like 100,000 volt or something. And back then it wasn't worth jack shit. I just put something in there. And then recently I opened my wallet and I'm like, oh, it really did well, that volt thing. That's insane.
I remember I did the interview with Steve, and I was just like, oh man, this is good. Like I don't know, I knew it. I was like, and I from my perspective, I thought like people were underestimating Steve in some ways. I don't know. This was my perception. So after the call, I was like, oh man, Steve, I think this is going to do really well. And yeah, and then I mean, it was crazy that it did so. And by the way, Friday I have an interview with Steve. We're gonna be talking about all the new ideas he has, and I'm gonna do some nice drawings so that we all understand what the wheel does and all the other crazy stuff what they do. Looking
That's
forward
good.
to it.
I need
What's
that.
funny is when you said drawings, I'm like, oh, are you gonna do you're gonna draw. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, my like the way I do my
Yeah,
drawings.
Morpheus has got me excited for actual like lottery drawings now. I'm like, oh, let's go. We're getting some drawings into Steve now or in the stream. Let's go. Right?
How much
just
is
gonna-
in there now? It's like quite a bit, right, Evan?
It is a lot. Let me check. Currently, there is 163 billion Titanx in the raffle.
63. And how like 10 people they have
Yes.
to share that, right?
Yeah. So
All
if
right.
we would
16
have done
billion
it right
apiece.
now, somebody or at least 10 people would win 16 billion Titanx.
Okay, what's that in dollars
Second.
again?
That would be, I don't know, over 10K. Well over 10K, I
All
think.
team. All
I
right,
have
man.
no
Not
idea.
bad.
Actually. You know what? Let me check.
17, 18, 19K, something like that.
Yeah, 21.
16 billion at 5 zeros and a 1 would be 16,000. So it's got to be closer to 20, something like that.
When will
Currently,
the
it
Nice.
would be almost 21K.
All right. Well,
But it's a moot point because we still got 12 more days of minting. So that number is going to be a lot different.
Yes, and
Let's
12 more
go.
days of Titanx appreciation. What if Titanx doubles in the next 2 weeks? People could literally get a 6-figure raffle.
That's
It
crazy.
could go bonkers for sure. It's mind-boggling to think about. We didn't expect this whatsoever. Not even close. It just blew even our wildest expectations, to be honest.
What do y'all think about Inferno?
Maybe it's because it's dudes in the chat. I feel hyped today. I just want to laugh all the time. Maybe it's overly exhaustion from that like 26 hours of streaming.
That was brutal.
I
just wanna
still
fight.
don't understand it. Like all of us have worked in front of computers our whole lives. Like, it's not like, in our teenage years, we weren't playing video games in front of the TV. But all of a sudden, one 12-hour conference or one 24-hour conference, 2 12-hour days. God, most of us feel like just wrecked. Like we had a giant vacation to Vegas and just came back. And we're like, you got to give me a couple days. I can't talk.
You could see it in everybody's faces in the streams as well. The streams that happened after that, everybody was I'm here.
The Monday streams were rough.
It was so good, man.
Oh, yep.
yeah.
Everyone's trying to get
I was
after it.
done on Sundays. Like Sunday, I was like so beaten down. I was like, oh, okay, now one more day.
Yeah,
All
that's
right, we're gonna crank through these lists here. What who was surprised by Inferno? Let's be honest.
I was,
Same.
but then I
Did not
wasn't.
expect this.
Yeah,
Look,
I started
this is
getting in
my,
heavy
right there. Ready?
when I figured out when they were building Flux, because I was like, oh, it has something built on top of it. That's usually a very good sign.
Yeah. That was Inferno was pretty cool, man.
Appreciate the input.
Right here. Here's your Volt first 4 days, first couple weeks on Inferno, and then off to the races.
that- Yeah. What do you think was more successful launch, Inferno or Volt? Because obviously they both just took off.
Yeah,
after.
Inferno really started picking up after week 5 is when Inferno really started picking up.
Yeah.
So I would say Volt.
I think if Inferno had some stuff built on right after, because it ran out, didn't it?
Yeah.
The Bind Burn ran out and then it kind of crashed.
Yeah,
now
it
it's
has some
just come
MEV
all the way
issues.
back up.
Yeah, I think this might be important for people to know. So Inferno had MEV issues with the initial buy and burn, so they built a V2 buy and burn. So now everything operates on that V2 buy and burn. Like for example, AlienX feeds that V2 buy and burn, and that one works just fine. So yeah, that MEV issue was like a small. Well, it wasn't actually small. I was pissed off as fuck because it was like dumping Ethereum into the Titanx pool.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, you enjoying your decentralized buy and burn?" Because they were like grilling me on it. I was like, "Yeah, how's that going for you?"
Hey, but you know
So I
what?
had, like,
That's
my
a good
little
example.
glory moment there.
That's a good example, though, of hey, they tried to innovate in a direction. Well, a little too early to innovate in that direction. It looks like decentralized buy and burn is not necessarily the total thing that you want.
Yeah,
So,
and then they tweaked it, and
right.
then the tweaked version is on I think Flux and Volt. Because Volt also has decentralized buy and burn, but with like a cap or swap cap, because that was the thing they forgot on the first one. So the V2 has that now, the V2 Inferno buy and burn, which works perfectly. Volt has that as well now. So this might be a good like announcement for builders. Is when you do a buy and burn, you want to have a cap or swap that is adjustable. You need to have a management key on the cap or swap because you never know when MEV bots are profitable. Because it might be profitable on V2 pools at like $200. So then you want to set your cap or swap at like $190. And V3 pools, you can usually go higher. Like if you have 50k of liquidity on like the buy side, then probably like $1,000 you won't get MEV'd. But you want to be able to adjust that. So just follow whatever the Titanx buy and burn V2 did, because that one had tens of millions of dollars run through it with zero issues. So whatever the Titanx V2 is, use it. It's a model that works. It's safe. It's protected. It's triple audited. It works beautifully. Or the Volt model. The Volt model works great. If you want to decentralize it, the Volt model is probably the best one to follow.
Fantastic. Yeah.
How is the Volt one different? It's just every 15 minutes, right? They just space it out.
Yeah, it's
loads.
interval. So it's a cap or swap, and then it has an interval that it sets it at. So it's smaller amount, and then it builds up to the cap or swap. So for example, if it's $200, when nobody triggers it, then it goes to 400. If nobody triggers it, then it goes to 600. But let's say the max cap per swap is at 500, it will stop at 500. It won't start rolling over above that. So that cap or swap is the most important by far.
Very good. Good information for the builders out there.
Yeah, the Shogun buy and burn will very likely be a similar model to that. It's going to be decentralized, the Shogun buy and burn. Because the thing with mining protocols, it needs to be smooth. Like you can't decentralize that buy and burn. But for stuff that's like auctions and it's 24 hours, you can decentralize it.
We're going down the list. I'm already at Flux now. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. I was just we switched to Flux and wanted to ask Callum, how are things going with Phoenix, man? You're taking over the pool here as well, no?
Hopefully. I mean, yeah, I'm so excited for Flux because Mo, if you scroll down, it has the pie chart. And I don't think many people have seen this. So the liquid is only 8%. Or is that 8%? Yeah.
Yep.
So Phoenix is going to basically inject buy pressure into that liquid. And if we can push up the Flux price, then there's more rewards for everyone, including Phoenix and including all the stakers as well. So yeah, I'm super excited to see. And I'm doing a stream actually today in an hour and 20 minutes because the dude's going to be building on Flux as well. He's doing E369. So we're going to be running through both our projects and talking about how it's going to benefit Flux.
Love the Phoenix.
I'm excited about Flux, man. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead,
pretty
Okay. Erwin was
All right,
talking.
shift. Jake, you talk.
You said something
Extremes are
about
hard
Phoenix,
sometimes.
Erwin? Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Erwin, what were you talking about? All right. All right. So I was going to say, I'm excited about Flux because the rewards are coming in Titanx, and I want Titanx going forward. You know, is that Titanx super valuable in the Flux payouts right now? Maybe not. Is it going to be Is it going to be valuable in 6 months? Oh, I want some residual coming from those Flux payouts. I want Titanx being deposited back to me when we're 2x, 3x higher from here. Yeah, I'm excited for Flux. I think Flux is a more long-term protocol, and a lot of people didn't quite realize that. And so, like any of the build on Titanx protocols that don't go to the moon after 12 hours, they faded it. So I think people will find out on Flux here before too long that is a solid protocol. Anyone else have anything to say?
No, I agree. It's the same with Blaze as well. Like, I really, really like the auction mechanics because if only a few projects build on top and they just start burning the supply or locking away the supply, then it could completely pump the price up. And if it does, there's literally more rewards for everyone. If you just 2x Blaze or 2x Flux, there's 2x the amount of rewards coming in, and that's a 2x. Imagine if you push it up 10x or whatever. It could get really, really interesting really, really quickly. So yeah, I think it's one of those things that people aren't really looking at, especially Blaze. It's one of those things that people are kind of fading, but yeah, I'm excited to be building on them for sure.
Yeah, there was
super
also
excited.
one super interesting statistic on Flux. Their liquid supply really isn't inflating that much. Like it's basically flatlined, meaning that the buy and burn is just the supply stays the same. So Flux is like a great arbitrage protocol. I know a bunch of whales that use it just as like they do it like every day, just some quick arbitrages to get some free stakes in the process, and it's burned $600,000 of Inferno. Flux.
Yep.
Yeah, so imagine projects like E28 and Phoenix that benefit Flux. That's going to push up the price, which is going to burn even more Inferno, and then that's going to benefit all the Inferno projects built on top.
Yeah, exactly. Phoenix is built on Inferno, right?
Yeah.
With the liquidity pool and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
so
think Phoenix is a great idea.
Should be interesting to see for sure. I'm
All
excited.
right,
Yes.
do you want to shill a little Phoenix? You got your opportunity, man. Talk about Phoenix a little bit.
yeah, shit it hard, man.
Yes, yeah. So it's going to be kind of like a hybrid between DragonX and Vault because we have daily auctions and it's going to be similar to what Shogun is going to be. So the buy and burn the buy and burn, first of all, is going to be fueled from 3 different stakes. We're going to have a stake in Blaze, a stake in Flux, and a stake in Titanx. And there's already one project that's confirmed they're going to be sending Titanx to our Titanx stake. And if they're in the Inferno Kingdom, it kind of makes sense because our buy and burn will be sat in Titanx, and then the Titanx will be swapped to Inferno and then to Phoenix. So any projects built on top of Inferno are going to benefit. That Phoenix brought is split 50-50. 50% is burnt, and the other 50% is going to be sent to our auction balance, which is going to be used to fuel the daily auctions, which 2.5% of that balance is going to be used daily after the 28-day mint phase. So we're going to have 4 streams of basically income all going towards burning the Phoenix supply.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think a quick pitch on Phoenix is 28-day distribution period. It has perpetual auction similar to Vault with a buy and burn. The thing that is an extra buy and burn on Phoenix is it has play stake, Titanx stake, Flux stake. 50% of that stake gets used to create a bigger stake. The other 50% buys and burns Phoenix. So even if nobody participates in Phoenix, it will always have buy and burn pressure on a hyper-deflationary asset because there's 28 days to get the supply out and then it starts deflating, similar to Vault. The difference with Vault is everything goes to the buy and burn. Phoenix is more long term because it has stakes forever feeding it, literally forever. So it's very sustainable. I like the idea of Phoenix a lot. It's cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're getting close. I think we've started testnet today, so maybe by the end of the week we'll start our first audit, and then it'll be mid-November. But the thing is, with mid-November is when all the pillars are coming out, so that's gonna be a crazy time. But yeah, I guess we just got to do it.
I'm
Man, we'll have so many auctions in the ecosystem. Fucking hell. I'm already stressed the fuck out. Now adding 20 more auctions on top of that.
Full-time job.
But the thing is, these auctions are amazing opportunities every 24 hours. So like, if you can snipe auctions, man, you can do like quick flips or hold. Yeah.
There is one thing
Nice.
with Phoenix, we're gonna have a 24-hour delay. So if there's like an ROI and it's 1 minute before the auction ends, you have to wait 24 hours before you claim it, and that's just to prevent people coming in and making a quick ROI and dumping it. I think
Because
Flux does the same.
Phoenix is different because it's a hyper-deflationary token. So you go into the auction to hold it, essentially. It's different than Flux. Flux is more like quick action every 24 hours. Yeah. Similar to Volt. You enter auction on Volt basically just to get your supply of Volt and hold it.
What do you prefer, Jake? Do you prefer the auctions or virtual mining?
Probably auctions. I'm a fan of auctions because it's 24-hour forced demand.
It's like more
And it only-
sustainable, more calculated, isn't it? Virtual mining, you can have
Yes.
huge spikes of supply all coming out, so it's more difficult to predict.
Yeah, virtual mining has uncapped adoption, but you really need to understand mining protocols to manage it well. Auctions is it's more predictable, it's faster, people know exactly what. Well, mining, you also know exactly what you're getting, but you don't know how many people are joining after you. At least with an auction, you know when the auction closes out at like 0 ROI. So it's people. I think auctions are cool. I like auctions a lot, especially for supply distribution. Like the initial supply distribution through auctions, I think is a great method. Or minting cycles like Inferno, like Morpheus is doing. If you just want to get your supply out there, do great models. I like it.
I like the engagement in auctions that you constantly need to be engaged. It's somewhat like a slot machine. You could either win big or it's. I like the constant engagement of it. Trying to snip out good deals, and like you're saying, you have a shot every 24 hours. It's like instant gratification. Yeah, let's go.
Because it
Man,
is,
like
it's forced
need-
participation.
Yeah, we need like a website with all the auctions and just show the ROI on all the auctions.
I
then-
Don't
no
give me
mind.
ideas. Don't give me ideas now.
Yeah,
Be like a
Mike
Titan Farms page, but instead you got every little auction window.
Yeah, just underneath each other and like like Element 280 burn page, just auction ROI, like the name of the protocol ROI, and then just a link to the DApp. You don't actually need to do it through that.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to get people stressed the fuck out, that's definitely a good way to do it.
All right. Yeah. I'll put that in the list as well.
Titanx.com/auction.
I think Steve said for his website, there's going to be literally a list of all of them with the ROI, so you can click between, which is going to be a really cool idea. Because keeping track of 10 different, or is it 11 now? Pillars, I think, all at once. It's going to be insane. Yeah, that keeps getting more.
I need to have a new landing page for all the auctions running in the system.
Just a Steve. You need a Steve page. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Shogun is also going to be auctioned. So add that on top of it.
It'll be there, yeah.
And there's going to be an auction on Shogun when Steve builds on it.
Did you see the twist that Warp did on their auctions?
No, I haven't had time to read the white paper. I know they have multiple input tokens.
Yep. Hyper, Ethereum, Titanx input. And then in the last 2 hours of every day, Tink opens up and you can use Tink as an input token only in the last 2 hours. So you get this like degen rush on ROI to maybe use Tink to get into Warp.
Crazy.
Interesting. Didn't know.
And but then also, so like the last 2 hours you use Tink to get in, you can't then dump that ROI you made as soon as that day ends. You have to wait another 12 hours until on the next day. So it's like they're breaking it up. So like the first 12 hours of the auctions, you can claim in the first 12 hours of day 2, and the second 12 hours of day 1, you have to wait until the second 12 hours of day 2. So it's kind of like what Kellen was doing, where you got to wait a little bit before you can actually claim them, but slightly shorter time frame there. But still, it should.
I'm not sure how Tink will work. So they would have to have a pool with Tink then, because otherwise it needs to sell Tink down to get to work.
Yeah, I
If it just
don't
goes
believe
Tink
they're
to work-
selling Tink. Yeah, I don't believe they're selling Tink down. We were talking about it last night on stream.
Yeah, if it has direct liquidity pool, it can work.
Yeah, they have to set it up then. Yeah.
I have a call with them in 10 minutes, so I can ask that.
Mike Dean
Yeah.
is turning out to be the Rolodex of Titanx. Okay, what do you think? It's amazing.
That's pretty funny. All right, we're at AwesomeX. We're almost halfway through our chart. We can maybe speed this up. We're 2 hours into it. We've done 8 so far. AwesomeX. It's got 500,000 in its buy and burn already. It's still not out of minting. Where do you think this one's going? Look at the stats right there. It's already burned 36% of itself. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is a perpetual auction thing. So he wants to make this a new input token for like the AwesomeX universe, which is built on top of DragonX. And it has a launchpad, which I think is awesome. I think the launchpad is awesome. God damn it. I think it's AwesomeX with the launchpad.
AwesomeX.
Yeah, this is what you get when you put a bunch of tired guys on the stream. Just a bunch of jokes and laughing. Yeah, well, I think AwesomeX is pretty good.
I think AwesomeX is awesome. That's all I have after the conference.
Man, I feel like Kamala Harris, fucking 100 words, 0 points.
That's amazing. Nah, because you're actually saying things and you're getting information out. That's the difference right there. Oh God, what was that? Like 5 days away? Shoot me now. Oh, do you know? Once in my life, I chose once to travel during election time. I was like, I'm going to be gone for the entire month before the elections and 2 weeks after. I don't want to see any commercials. You tell me who wins when I come back. And man, that was the best November I ever had in my life because I didn't have to think about all the politics.
I saw a great tweet on Twitter when it comes to the elections. There was a guy that lived across the border, and he's like, yeah, I just crossed the border, put my vote in. They didn't ask for my ID, and I went back. He just went across the border to vote for Trump, and then went back. I was like, okay.
I like that.
I saw, I keep seeing tweets, and it's people with passports that aren't American voting, but they're voting for like Donald Trump. They're saying like, oh, I'm doing my part to try and counter.
If it works, okay, but how is my country the bastion of democracy and all this stuff? How can we not do elections right anymore? Bro, Los Angeles County was like, we're going to put the ballots in a helicopter and we're going to go fly them to the precinct. Like, but what did you do 5 years ago? You just counted them 5 years ago. Now we're flying them to locate. Like, what is happening? How is my country not able to pull off an election anymore? I don't understand. This is crazy. This video is instantly demonetized now. That's what just happened. I literally said election.
How crazy is it, Mo, over there? Because when I was speaking to Smooth, he says like everyone takes it really serious. Their political views.
It depends who you talk to and does that person watch TV and consume media. If they do, they're probably rabid. If they stay away from the media, they don't care and they're like, whatever, man. I just live your own life. You know, it's 50-50. If it's someone who's, stuck on American news media, then yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a big ass pendulum. They hooked me, man. Because I like one thing that hooks me is like good versus evil. That hooks me a lot. So it really feels like that this election. Because man, when you look at anyway, AwesomeX.
Yeah.
Day 369. AwesomeX day.
Okay, I'll tell you what. This will be a fine conversation to have after the elections.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, because literally, all they care about is this stuff before. And so after we can talk about it all and then give our opinions on what we think. But I think we're all in the same place with this.
Yeah.
We all feel a lot of the same ways, and we all are very interested to see where it's going. So we'll leave it at that. And AwesomeX. How about that? Awesome. All right. It's awesome. Before you continue,
Hey,
could you?
before you continue, could you,
Go ahead.
Could you bring up the comment from Slick Soul?
Okay.
Different one. What am I doing?
No, this
Oh
one.
man, this guy just
he's-
slow. Just
so
fucking ignore
he's
this shit.
referring, why would we shill all these things? Because they can't win all together.
Bro.
And
Okay,
it's literally
Fine. We'll
opposite.
touch that. That is, I feel like that's a mindset from someone in a
Yes.
different ecosystem where what we have going on in our ecosystem doesn't exist in many other ecosystems, if any other ones. So I understand that sentiment that he has. I would say, why don't you start looking around and asking questions in this Titanx ecosystem, and you might find that answer for yourself. Because, you know, everything is symbiotic in this ecosystem. We're all helping each other. We have a lot of good energy, and everybody really wants to see everybody move forward and do well. So that's why. And no, not everything is going to be awesome. Some things, you know, won't shoot to the moon. But you know what? As long as it's symbiotic and it's got the good energy, we're going to support everybody.
I mean, the
Yeah,
way
I just keep on referring to the whole theme park thing. Does Disney World does it only do advertisement for its lead attraction? No, because not everybody wants to go there for just the lead attraction. It makes advertisement for everything. If you go to a theme park with a school bus with 40 people, do they all go to the same attraction over and over, or do they disperse because of their likings? That's literally this. There's way more people and way more money that you could ever imagine that is going to come into this ecosystem. There is more than enough to go around for everybody, and not everybody is going to choose the same thing. So get the information out there for every attraction on the theme park, and we're here to win together. That's it. It all benefits the theme park, and in this case, that's Titanx.
Yeah, I mean, the
Well
answer is
said.
pretty simple. It's just technical. It's all built on top of Titanx. It all utilizes Titanx. If something gets little adoption, it also has little supply. Because if no user participates in the minting process, 0 tokens would exist. So it scales very well with the adoption. The thing that is special about this ecosystem is it's all built on top of Titanx, or a core token in the Titanx ecosystem, which is also built on top of Titanx, just leverage on Titanx. People don't have to sell one thing down to go into the other one, because it's all one big ecosystem, and if one benefits, everybody benefits. The other part of it, and this is a big part, is all decentralized teams, it's all other teams. It's other people, it's other personalities, it's other marketing channels, etc. Meaning that it's not just one team launching 20 protocols and then just marketing one, forgetting all the 19. It's individual teams with individual goals, individual things. Titanx is like an L1. When something new launches on Ethereum, Ethereum benefits. Whether or not the other thing on Ethereum doesn't benefit that thing directly, everybody wins because the network becomes more attractive to a multitude of people. So Titanx is just the L1 within the L1. So just from a technical perspective, it all benefits.
I mean, one of the things I like to view it is just like, I don't know, if you view Titanx as a city, right? There is like, and then like there's some different parts in that city. So there's probably the DragonX part of town, you can think about it, and obviously Eric is there and he's trying to grow his part of town as big as possible, right? And he wants to get other builders to build on top of it. So he wants to make his neck of the wood as beautiful as possible, right? And the others are trying the same thing, but we are growing together, essentially, right? So it's more people joining that city. The city gets bigger, and potentially, like your part of the city is getting part of those users as well, right? I mean, it's like, I don't know, like New York City is like, when a new restaurant gets built there, is like, well, New York benefits from it as well, and the people who come there benefit as well on top of
That's
that.
a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from now. I just thought he was trolling a little bit when he said the rug pull. Another important thing is all the liquidity is locked, so it's all burn liquidity, so there's no withdrawal function on any of the liquidity. But pull up his last comment. He says, "I know, but not knowing the dev is concerning." Well, all the devs are public. You can watch all of their streams. They all have individual YouTube channels, Twitter channels, etc. I think 90% of developers show their face, which is unique about this ecosystem. Like, for example, Mo, the guy on the left, he's just a streamer. He doesn't have a protocol yet. The guy next to him, Callum, has Phoenix. The guy next to him, Erwin, has Morpheus. Me, I created Titanx. And then the robot you see here on the right, he has a matrix. So we all have our own protocols within the L1, which is Titanx, except that Titanx is not its own L1. It's the L1 built on top of Ethereum. So we don't need to inflate $60 million a day like Solana. We can piggyback on the network of Ethereum and essentially have a hyper-deflationary token that all these protocols are built on. And all these protocols getting adoption burns Titanx. So Titanx is a hyper-deflationary asset that has programmed to man through all the protocols built on top of it.
Beautiful said, man.
See, you're fine after the conference. That was a good answer.
I just needed a little poke, just a little
You
poke.
did that the other day on the Morpheus stream. Where you're like, "Oh man, don't ask me that right now. I'm a little tired still from the conference." And then you just banged out a perfect answer, and I was like, "This fucking guy, I can't do it." Yeah. Hey, how about Baby DragonX? We're gonna power through this. You remember when this was the move on Baby DragonX, and you were like, "Man, who missed that?" That was a long time ago, because
I'm a big fan of Baby DragonX. I love
12,000%.
of the art.
Hey guys, I just got to jump off. I have a call with the WAP team, Johnny Papa Vegas and Nathan. So I have to jump on that call. Thank you for the invitation, and I'll be watching very soon.
Ask Nathan if he's awake when he gets on.
Say that again.
Ask him if he's awake yet when he comes on. He'll understand.
All right, I'll do so. And I forgot to stream on my audience. Whatever. Okay, next time.
Enjoy your 20 call to actions.
Yeah, 20 more.
I have them all in my list. It's great.
Thanks for coming in, buddy.
All right, yeah. Thank you for the invitation, man. Have a good one. Talk to you soon, guys.
Always.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, man. Yesterday we were gonna do the white paper stream on Warp, and both the guys that are doing it are dads. They got multiple kids, and one of them was putting his kid to bed. And he's like, I was reading to him, and then I just fell asleep. So he showed up to the white paper reveal a little late. It was kind of funny. I gave him shit. I was like, hey man, you're showing up to your own stream. Good for you. Nice to have you.
I love that shit. Everything is so authentic. I mean, could we get more authentic than that? Having your dog snore on stream, or like what was the other? I don't know if it was Crypto Consumer or the other one. I'm not really sure that had a burp on stream while he thought he wasn't on stream, or you can't get more authentic than this community, man. It's
yeah, pretty much. I have this big theory that in the future, when AI is just really all over and you have no idea, the person you're looking at on screen, if it's a real person, us, the guys who are picking our noses on screen and farting on accident and being like, oops, yep. Dog snoring? Yeah, that's the real person right there. Yeah. AI can't fake how bad I am sometimes. All right. Anyway, Baby DragonX, I think, was one of the wildest ones where you were like, oh, did you fade something in the beginning? Well, 12,000% later. Oops.
It was crazy. I think James talked about it being close to 50K, but I remember seeing it at 25K. I'm pretty certain I saw it at 25K, and I remember going to the website, and it was when no one was talking about anything, and I was like, okay, this looks okay, but I was like, I won't get any. I wish I did, because right after that is when, it was only a few weeks, wasn't it, when I think Eric did a stream with Mike, and they run through the future of kind of DragonX, and after that, apparently it just took off, and that was one of the craziest explosive leverage things ever. So yeah,
I think that's when people figured out the bonding effect, and they were like, "Oh, this isn't just it's not a thing we're saying. It really works." Like, because people weren't buying Baby DragonX, but as soon as DragonX just went up, whoa! It just caught the coattails and slingshotted past it.
Yeah, man. I remember that. I faded Baby DragonX so hard. I was like, oh, God damn it.
It's cool now though that they're
enough.
adding
Yeah.
more value to it, because before it was still good. It was good meme, but now they're having actual concrete infrastructure, a lot more than it had before built onto it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because I think 35% of everything that goes into scale goes to the baby DragonX buy and burn. So it's going to be interesting.
Solid guy as well.
I got to.
I had a great talk with him.
I'm going to stream with them this weekend, I hope. It's super hard with guys like when Eric was in like Singapore. Like, that's so hard to stream with guys on that side of the world. But we're getting it done. We'll have it happen eventually.
Yeah, I need to go for at least 20 minutes. If you're still on, I'll be more than happy to jump back in. But I really need to get the things out of the oven, start eating.
Yeah, no worries, brother.
See you later.
We're gonna plow through the last half of this this list here. But if you're available,
for the
come on
first
back.
half.
I know. We're trying.
Let's go.
You know.
Cheers.
Let's go.
Yep.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Legend X. One of the first token-backed NFTs in our system. What do you think about that? What do you think about token-backed NFTs? Is that the way to go from now on?
Yeah, maybe. We have to see adoption of the NFTs being traded on market. But once we have that, I think it's a great system with the DragonX hybrids. Legend X has it. Element 280 has it.
It's about the only way you're going to get me back into NFTs.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like token backed NFTs, because even Element 280 you could have done with just a simple pool. It didn't need to have NFTs to do the distribution. But that was a cool twist.
Definitely.
I think before I wasn't that interested in NFTs, to be honest, because the last cycle when there was that crazy hype behind them, I never saw why. And then obviously everything crashed, and I was like, I'm not going to look at NFTs again. But what E280 did, I think is so interesting, because that actually adds like real utility. Like, it's basically deflationary. You have, and even what he's going to do with his new projects as well, E369. Like, yeah, I think NFTs have their own value, definitely.
I'm bringing up the Blaze chart right now. We'll get back to Element 280. Just trying to plow through the list here. So it's Blaze is formed coming back off its previous floor. It's touched many times of about $1. Bounces off that almost every time. Now we're at $1.50 on Blaze. Blaze has got more things coming, from what I hear.
Yeah, is it Utah crypto that might be building something on Blaze?
I believe so.
Or someone is.
Yeah. Jake, do you have any insights that you want to share on Blaze?
Well, one second, I'm answering something in the comments.
Okay, that's fine. Multitasking is hard. I can't do that stuff. If I try and have a conversation and type, I will type what I'm saying out loud and then send and be like, what the hell did I just say?
What the?
Yeah. Blaze is I have a hard time with Blaze because it's one of my like little favorite ones in the corner that I don't like to talk about because I want to keep it all to myself. But Blaze has given me a partial salary each week with its payouts. You know, just like farms, it's allowing me to take part in all these other protocols. So I'm super psyched on Blaze, and super psyched if you're going to give Blaze, if anyone's going to give Blaze any support at all, nice. Because as long as Blaze gets above $1, you know, if it even gets closer to $2, those auctions get really juicy and those payouts get really nice again.
That's the thing, yeah. Imagine if it can just push up past, what's its all-time high? Did it get to 3? $3.
It had an MEV bot on the beginning, so it's like asking what DragonX all-time high is. It's like, well,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
you know,
like looking at everything from the first bump.
yeah.
Like at Titanx, I also ignore that first wick. I'll just look at the second
Yeah.
one because that's when all the bots were out.
Well, you know, it's funny though. I think I looked at it, and even Titanx off the original, we're not that far off that stupid crazy wick. Actually, I lied. I'm thinking of
Uh,
DragonX.
Do auto.
DragonX is not far off.
Log
Do
and
what?
auto, and then you see it. Go back to the Titanx chart. Log and auto. Yeah,
There we go.
that looks way easy to look at.
But this shows quite well, doesn't it? Hyperinflationary at the beginning comes down, and now we're entering hyper deflationary.
It looks like it's almost just mirroring. I mean, look even at that like little handle that we have now, and then look at the left. It just looks the exact same. It looks like it's literally just a mirror
Yeah.
at this point. That's interesting. Hyperinflationary on the left and then hyper-deflationary. Entering hyper-deflationary in 8 days.
Yeah, this is just deflationary to start, not even hyper-deflationary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, I'm gonna skip Titans of Battle because they don't have any tokens. I think we talked about Tink already, so we can kind of skip Tink unless you want to add anything about farms.
Nah, I fucking love farms. Pull up the APR. It's great marketing.
You got it.
Jake, do you mind speaking about how the Tink distribution, like, is it a token? Well, yeah, how many tokens come out and how does it decrease?
It's so with the farms, it's one Tink every second, but the liquidity fees buy and burn Tink. So as you can see here, so it's basically a farming protocol with massive buy and burn. So these APRs at this point, because Tink looks like it's found the bottom versus Titanx, at least because it's just gone like this, and then now it's just been steady for almost 2 weeks now. So these APRs are real. Like, they're real. And that's high. That's high. Yeah, because a farming token with a buy and burn fed from the liquidity is never done before. So I like it a lot. Put it on the daily and do log auto. Yeah, like that. I put it on the Titanx ratio. Okay, press log again. Yeah, it looks like it found the bottom versus Titanx. So these APRs are real.
I remember Eric talking about he did the maths behind like when it should reach a floor and how it should become almost more scarce. Do you know much about the tokenomics behind it, you think?
Yeah, so it's one Tink every second, but there is a fair value to Tink because all this liquidity, so $41 million of liquidity is in the farms. That generates fees, which all buy and burn Tink. So that it has a certain amount of built-in predictable buy pressure that creates a fair value for Tink that I can never really drop below. Anything below that number is basically just a deal of a lifetime because you have guaranteed buy pressure from all the liquidity fees.
Damn, does that
Which
mean
is why I think it's bottom.
Does that mean as more people come in, more liquidity, people provide liquidity, it means it just goes higher and higher, basically?
Yeah, and there's stuff being built on Tink.
Damn.
Yeah. Kind of sick.
That is
People don't understand how important it is to give support and a foundation to Tink and what that will really do to the longevity of this ecosystem. I mean, the amount of whales that will start taking part in farms as that really forms a support, like, it's game changing. You think 44 million is a lot in liquidity? Wait until Tink forms a solid foundation.
Yeah. Yep. All right, what's after Tink? So we had Tink, Element 2A. Yeah, I love Element 2A, man. I think Element 2A is great.
I love the website. It's a sticky website.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, I
gorgeous.
mean the rewards have been, so there's been 2 payouts. So every week there's a payout. I think it's been roughly around 10% ROI a week.
Yeah.
And you still have your tokens. You still have your money.
and-
It's so good.
Yeah. I got NFTs, and the value of the NFTs is higher. And the first week I got 10% in rewards off the ROI. And I think the second week I'm getting more than I got last week. So,
And it's not even finished this mint, because it's really going to start when the mint phase is finished, isn't it?
That's when the price appreciation starts. The rewards are going to go down because it goes from 16% to 4%. But then you'll start having price appreciation, because then that arbitrage goes away. Because now you can get it 1-to-1. You have to wait 48 hours to get them. Get your tokens, and you can sell it down, make a quick ROI, use it to compound. But once that stops, yeah, that's when you see essentially price potential on Element 280. So as you earn Element 280, even though the percentage, like number of tokens you get, might be less because the transfer tax goes down, it might just be worth more. So it might just cancel out and stay the same. It's kind of interesting to think about.
Such a unique idea. Like, how the hell did you think about this? Because now you're going to be using kind of a similar liquidity web, right, in Shogun. So I think this idea is so unique, and it just makes sense. Like, I can't believe it. Like, it actually works, and it works really well.
Man, look at that burn. This is still it's still being minted. 40% burn.
Yeah, dude.
Man, that's crazy. That's insane. That's actually insane.
Let me pull up the chart for it.
Do you think it's just because of that high tax rate? Do you think that's the main?
Yeah. But the thing, almost all the cells you see on Element Titanx are arbot. So, like for example, do that. The second transaction, 80C. Click on that arrow next to it, transaction. Yeah, the one below that, yeah. But go to the transaction. So the arrow. No, the arrow. Next to it. Right.
Yeah.
Click that. And now you see... Oh, no, this is not a good example. I'll post a link in the chat. I'll show you what an arbitrage looks like for the streams. I think this is one. Yep. So I'll post it in the chat. Use that one. Just a random transaction. Is this one? So, yep.
Keep putting it in the private chat. I can't. I can't hit that link. There we go. Got it.
Yeah, and then on the top of that transaction, go to transaction action, and then you'll see the swap that it used. This is the arbitrage bot.
You can go to what?
Yep, and there, transaction action, click to show more under aggregated swap.
Where am I looking?
So you see, it's the 5th column. Yeah, there, and click to show more under aggregated swap.
I don't see where I'm fucking supposed to be looking. I'm sorry. Aggregated swap.
So you see aggregated swap of 4 tokens on 2 platforms. Click to show more under that. Above the ad. So you see ad removed. There,
yes, sorry. Show details.
Yeah, above it. No, click to show more. Yes,
gotcha. Sorry. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so so as you can see here, in the middle you see it took Ethereum, swapped it for Titanx. And then you see it took it in the middle because the order is not 100% correct, but you can see Ethereum buys Titanx, then Titanx buys Element, Element buys Hyper, and then Hyper sells for Titanx, Titanx for Ethereum, and that's the arbitrage route that it took to get the profit across the pairs because the prices were so skewed against each other. So this arbitrage bot, for example, made $14, $16-ish on this arbitrage by fixing the price across pools. But as it's doing that, it generated, how much was that? So 16% tax, 10%, 20%, so 20% of. Yeah, it generated roughly $200 of reward
$200.
Yeah.
Damn. That is
Yeah,
so
I don't
good.
think a lot of people understand this transaction. When you click to show more, it shows you the path that it took. You just have to reverse engineer it a little bit because it's not in perfect order.
And this is happening all the time over all the different.
That's almost all the buys and sells.
Yep.
Because with every pairing that he has, no matter what, those pairings are never going to be synced. So there's always going to be arbing in between them. And anytime it passes that arb opportunity, passes past that tax amount, bang, it takes its profit, no matter how little it is, does it as many times as it can. And that guy's happy. He doesn't care. But it paid that 16% tax every fucking time it went in and out.
This would never even cross my mind to even think about doing this. How he even thought this up is insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's relatively simple. So, for example, when you have element 280 paired with all the tokens, every liquidity pool is its own price. It's not one universal price because it's a ratio against the thing that it's paired with. So you can have like one pool that's like $1 element, and then you have one pool that's like $1.20 element. So then it will buy the dollar element from that pool and sell it in a $1.20 pool to equalize the prices across the pools. Because the pools don't move with each other because it's different pairings. That's how arbitrage bots work. So element essentially has 20 different prices because it's paired with 20 different things, and the arbitrage bots just fix them, so they're all the same.
And Shogun's going to be that on like steroids, basically across everything.
Yeah.
Okay. ORX still in its minting phase. People have not. We're plowing through this, man. We got to go. It's 11:20. I'm like 30 minutes away from lunchtime on the seniors. I last talked to them at breakfast. They're still there. They haven't called me, so everything's working well. I keep waiting for
ORX
a crash
good.
or something. No.
I think ORX is
ORX
underrated.
good.
Yes.
Can you explain it to
100% buy-in
people in a more palatable, non-Kool-Aid way?
It's a lending platform. It's a multi-collateral lending platform, so people can take any asset in the Titanx ecosystem that has ample liquidity and is supported by the farms, take a loan against it. As they do that, they have to pay a loaning fee like they do with liquidity, all of the other borrowing and lending protocols. And so the ORX token is a cap supply token. So it can only max 10 trillion of Titanx can go in to mint it. As more Titanx comes in, the price to mint goes up. It has 100% buy and burn. So that buy and burn hasn't started yet because no supply has come out. The longer you wait, the more tokens you get. And you can stake ORX on the Ouroboros platform to earn all the tokens that get loaned against.
100% buy and burn. You had me.
100% buy and burn. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a burn in there, but whatever. Ouroboros will lock a lot of assets up. So we'll let that one slip. I like the protocol. I think it's a great idea.
How long do you think the minting phase will take to finish out?
I don't know. No idea.
Okay. Yeah. Callum, are you familiar with the lending protocols?
It's going to be open forever. And then once it closes, it closes.
Gotcha.
The like lending, like when it actually launches.
Like, have you worked with any of the like liquidity? Have you done any lending at all in crypto?
I haven't participated in the farms yet, to be honest. No, I haven't really touched any of that stuff. I kind of get the gist of it, but it feels like if you want to do it, you have to spend a bit of time just understanding the risks and making sure that everything behind it is kind of.
I think the question got confused.
Oh, what?
Yeah, no, he heard liquidity, and I meant like liquid loans, like the loaning.
Liquidity is a lending platform on Ethereum, so you can take your Ethereum, you can take a loan against it. You still have your Ethereum there, but you get stablecoin against it, and it can get liquidated, obviously. But that way, people can essentially play around with their money while having their asset locked, and then they can pay off the loan after they've done the play. Happens a lot on Ethereum. Like a lot of big whales do it. I think it's a must-have. We need to have a lending platform on our in our ecosystem. Farms is a big one. Then borrowing and lending is a big one. And the third one is an aggregator or a DEX that feeds buys and burns Titanx. That's also coming. So like infrastructure is almost here. And then omni-chain.
And then the world.
Yep.
The world is not enough. Okay.
All right, next.
So the yeah, fuck it. We'll move on. That's fine.
Alien X.
Alien
Alien
X.
X is going through its minting phase. Seems fine. The supply looks good. It has taxes that it burns itself. It has multiple liquidity pairs, so the arbitrage bots burn a token essentially. And I think the second minting phase starts in 3 days. Yeah,
So
Alien
it
X
has a
might
sell tax,
be
transfer
interesting.
tax.
Yes, it's 2.08%. Portion goes towards liquidity across the pairs, and then the other percentage gets burned. But it's mainly burned. Like, the majority of it is burned.
Can you see how much Inferno it's got in his? Because I know
Yeah,
every week it gets 28% of the Titanx that goes to buy Inferno, and that's being stored. I don't know if it has it on its website.
it's like 400k, and it has 180k in Titanx that it uses to directly buy and burn. So that's the size of the market cap essentially.
Damn. That's just because
Opportunity. Sounds like you're talking about Helios.
And this is quite interesting as well because it's like a drip after. I think after all the mints, it's 0.88% is released. I think, is it daily?
Yep.
Jake, do you know? Yeah, daily. So that is going to be like a constant. That's their sustainable system that they've put in place to make sure it's always being burnt, basically. And if you're bullish on Inferno, then who knows what that's going to be in the future and how big that balance is going to be in the future as well.
That's kind of the play with Alien X. Yeah, it's essentially a leverage play on Inferno. Yep.
And tons of things are coming onto Inferno from what I keep hearing. So,
and then the last two, Lotus and Morpheus. Morpheus, the value proposition there is a DEX aggregator that buys and burns Morpheus. Still going through its mint phase, and Lotus is a essentially accelerated mining platform. So it's like Titanx but way faster. So the token, it's just mining distribution of the tokens, and it has Zara built on top of it, which is a vault pillar. People seem to like Lotus.
It's got crazy adoption. Like the amount of Titanx I can check actually, because it's on premium now. There's been 4.5 trillion Titanx used to start miners.
wow.
It's a good chunk.
Day 5,
I want to see 20%
40
burn. God damn it.
22% burn.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I suppose it is
Got almost
difficult
2.6.
for projects to do that because sometimes it doesn't directly probably it's sometimes selfish and they want to contain their economic energy as much as they can, you know?
Yeah, so I'm taking the burn or burning. Because Hydra burns 20%, Hyper burns 20%, Shogun will burn 20%. That seems to work just
Trying to get people to follow your lead. Morpheus was going to try and do it, and then Eric was like, that's too much.
Yeah, why? I don't get it. Yeah, because burning Titanx benefits everything by default. Like a raffle only benefits 10 people. The burning of Titanx benefits everybody. I think that was a dumb decision. But whatever, people seem to like it.
It's kind of neat. Maybe not go that way every time, but it definitely generated a little bit of excitement for them. We'll see how this launch goes, but I think it's unique. It's interesting.
Do you think it should be close to 20% for every project, Jake?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to see 20%, yeah, because an extra 20% in a buy and burn or an extra 10% in a buy and burn makes very little difference over time. Because it enters a liquidity pool and then people can just access it. Like it's very quickly in and out. But at least with burning, it's forever. And it creates price floors on Titanx.
You know, for the pillars, why is Titanx not an input token to then go and buy?
Because he didn't want to create competition against Volt.
Ah.
Yeah, because it's supposed to help Volt because it all feeds back into Volt. And if you have Titanx and all the auctions, it might take away from Volt itself. That's my reasoning around it. It makes sense.
Okay.
For what he wants to do specifically.
I don't know about you, but I feel like this community is getting a little lazy. We only have 20 projects coming out.
And Shogun isn't even listed. Mike!
Did it get delisted?
We had a conversation. I even asked him. I was like, "Are you still doing Shogun? You can do something else?" He was like, "Well, I don't know. I'd probably take it off." And so I was like, "Mike, you can take it off." And then the next day, Jake's like, I think I'm going to use Shogun. And then it was already gone. He's like, what the fuck? I'm like, I did that. That was all
Yeah, literally,
me.
he pulled it off the day I said it. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna use Shogun. It's off, and it was on there for like 8 months. Nothing that nobody was building Shogun. I wasn't building Shogun, and then the moment I mentioned I'm building it, it disappeared. The timing was so perfect.
I got big derailing plans here. It's not just the streams I'm trying to derail. I'm going to derail.
Just everything.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's do a little quick transition to the future and the 20 protocols coming out. If they all get 1 trillion apiece, we're running out of Titanx, and then we're still not at Shogun, and we're still not at X28, and we're still not at all the ones that aren't even announced on that list. Jake, real question: do we have enough Titanx?
There's only one way everybody has enough.
Through
I
my
can't
name.
All right. 2 hours into it. We're still a couple days out of the conference. Our brains are still a little fried. We'll be better next week, guys.
Man, I feel like a
hope this
pussy.
is-
What? Why am I tired like this? It's like, dude, normally I'm like, I'm sick as hell, and then I do a power nap for like 90 minutes and I'm good to go. But my brain's like, nah, just nah.
Do you have like caffeine or just nicotine?
Yeah, caffeine, nicotine, my nootropics. I think I just had a fuck sleep schedule. That was it. Primarily that.
It definitely changes everything around.
You know what it was as well? Like the questions being asked were still hard at the end of the 12 hours. Like I remember that like we did the section, but then I think it was the section after or the section before. They were asking you some hard questions. And obviously your brain is still like going overdrive for all of those 12 hours. So that's probably what it is. You just absolutely feel knackered from that.
Probably. Yeah, but we can still do streams like this. It's totally fine. It's just my energy levels have been a little bit lower, which is surprising because it took me forever. Normally, you need to like cut off a leg for me to have like lower energy levels. I guess a stream can do it.
Cut off a leg or make you do a conference. That's it.
Exactly. Callum, when Phoenix? So you said middle of November-ish? Just so everybody has enough?
Yeah, so testnet started literally today. We've started testing, and hopefully by the end of this week, we've already got all the auditors lined up. So we're going to do 2. Obviously, if there are big issues, we'll do 3, but it should hopefully be, mid-November. I wanted it to be early November, but it's going to be mid-November. It's looking like.
Nice. That's good. That's not that far away. It's like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, but I think in Titanx like that, there's so much going on and so much stuff coming out. It feels like a very long time, because all the pillars are going to be out by then, or around that same time. So that's going to be interesting to see. Yeah.
Jake, you said November was going to be possibly more wild than October, and good Lord, it's shaping up to be that way.
Yeah, and hyper-deflation finally, 8th of November.
Baby,
It's gonna be nice.
hyper-deflation, baby. I was dreaming that the other day. All right, gentlemen, thank you for coming in. We've been talking long enough. Everybody's been in here. We have 968 people. Thank you all for showing up. I appreciate you entertaining us all and letting us, talk some Titanx in this beginning stages of the Titanx bull run, because that's what it still feels like to me. I feel like we're barely getting started. What do you guys
The
think?
bull run hasn't even kicked off yet. We've just had our own little echo bull run just to get into hyper-deflation, and we haven't even started hyper-deflation yet. 9 days.
It's literally just the start, which is crazy. Like, why are people selling now? We haven't even entered any of the bullish. The election, first of all, huge bullish catalyst. Ethereum, obviously, hyper-deflation, 20 plus projects being launched. Like, there's not much negatives in the system. Can I say one thing, Mo? Is that okay?
You can interrupt me. I interrupt everyone. What do you mean? And you say something.
I've got a stream with Dude in half an hour, so everyone come and watch that. We're going to be running through Phoenix and we're going to be running through E369, which are both built on Flux. So if you guys are interested, come.
Man, I have to say, go check out that stream. Man, every time I go on YouTube, somebody's streaming. It's so good to see. Seriously, it's like almost around the clock when I'm like, there's always like a stream going on and you can learn something new, you know? It's so sticky. I love it. Everybody's streaming, everybody's putting in work. You've been streaming a lot. You've been man, Mo, you stream every day. Almost.
I'm trying.
God damn.
But you know, if we get to this point where this bull run keeps, you know, taking us where we're going and we have 100 more streamers, you know, maybe I won't have to stream every day. Maybe I can pull it back a little bit. But no, man,
Man,
this
that
is
will
the
just
bull run.
peer pressure you into coming on. Every stream that's going on, peer pressure Mo.
We're just getting started. I sometimes I try. I can't even really wrap my head around where it's going, because a year ago, if you asked me where we were going to be a year from now, we're way ahead of schedule from where I had in my head. So, let's go. Let's fucking go. Jake, last words.
Hyper-deflation. That's it. Those are going to be my 2 words for the whole bull run. Hyper-deflation.
That's it. Peace out, people. Have a great day.